Hello, everyone. Welcome to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes. We have some great games lined up for y'all tonight. Mythic Fabled is up against Top Shelf. We have some high-level Platinum players. We have some low-level Diamond players. We even have a Master Tier player. Here for you this evening, we have an amazing set of the best of three lined up for y'all tonight, where picks and bans are pretty already underway. First phase of bans are done, and first pick Sivir is already underway for Mythic Fabled here. Are we going to be impressed by individual play and team play like we have in the past with our gold and platinum counterparts? Only time will tell. Let's see. Thousand, are you ready?
I was until I messed up the bot and didn't bring it in to talk. So I mean, to be fair,
I thought I did a
it in.
very good job of like skipping over
Oh,
that, and I thought we were gonna just move past
no,
it. But
no.
you know,
Look,
you're
I
gonna.
blame everyone, including myself.
Okay, well, look,
But
I don't know.
look, I had the bot in here. It was in here, and then we weren't talking for a bit, and the bot was like, "All right, peace," and we just kind of like went on, and I forgot to bring it back in. Anyway, we're already deep into this draft. As you can see, Pantheon, Volibear being banned away. Those early game junglers taken off the board from Mythic Fabled, and then Top Shelf locking in the MF Rakan, looking for some team fight power in comparison to Mythic Fabled, who have a lot more. It is team fight, but it's all about just jumping at people and running them down rather than a wombo combo style of a team fight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Rakan has been so much in the meta recently and has been paired with a bevy of different AD carries. And
Good
Rakan,
word.
a bevy, yeah, it's a real good one, right? Thanks. A bevy of different AD carries, and seeing them with the Misfortune here and the Trundle lock-in as well. Very good one there. We'll get to that one in a second. But I love the Rakan lock-in here. Once again, Misfortune is a wombo combo kind of champion. Is really good when you have a strong ultimate to set up for bullet time, and Rakan with the quickness does a very, very good job of that.
Yeah, he's obviously really, really good. He's such a good engage and pick kind of style of champion. So I'm very happy to see that picked up. And with that Trundle, it's looking like we might be seeing a little bit more focus on that pick aspect. Trundle is an okay team fighter, but obviously is not the greatest. Is a solid pickup against that Sejuani, as we have seen in the past as well. What is nice about this, though, for Mythic Fabled at least, is there's no confirmation where that Sejuani is going right now. There's no confirmation for Top Shelf either, but it's basically forcing Top Shelf to hold on to that top lane. They have to counterpick top lane rather than the mid lane here if Mythic Fabled don't really lock in anything here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play around, because Sejuani has been that flexible pick. Like you were talking about, this could go into the top lane, this could go into the jungle. But a lot of from what we've seen, and I think it was from Mythic Rising that tried to do this as well. They locked in the Sejuani, and then the second they saw Trundle, they're like, "All right, Sejuani top lane. All right, just get her out of the jungle." Right? And if that's how it's going to play, Top Shelf does have the final counter pick here. So they could honestly do the same thing. Trundle in the top
There
lane
you go.
isn't exactly a bad time.
It's not, but I think what's important to note here is that this is basically they are counter picking for their weaker player. Just for clarity's sake, it is Diamond 1 for Mythic Fabled in the top lane versus Platinum 4 for Top Shelf here.
Yeah.
So there is a skill difference. And rather than getting the counter pick on the much more even matchup of both Diamond 4s in the mid lane, they're forcing the counter pick into the top side, which gives them a little bit more of an edge. You have a top laner that is probably familiar with playing into counters and being familiar with that. So now you're basically taking away one place where Top Shelf could have gained an advantage because they can't pick there, right? They can't take a top laner to try and counter out the Sejuani because they don't know where the Sejuani is going yet. We do see it is a top lane Sejuani. The Viego is locked in here, but the damage is already done. They were forced to pick that Victor, and it's a really smart draft, I think, especially considering we don't really see too many complex draft strategies done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is real. I agree. This is really well played by Mythic Fabled here. I think the Sejuani lock in here kind of almost demands the answer from the Trundle here. So what's really, really good is that you do get that Trundle counter pick, but like we've seen from Mythic Rising, and maybe this is a strategy that the entire kind of org has put together here, is like locking in that Sejuani gives you a solid top laner, gives you a solid jungler, forces a response from the enemy team, and then you can kind of pick around where they decided to go, because you can't put a counter to Sejuani in every. Now, granted, I still think Trundle does a good job against Viego, because the other thing that Trundle is good against are champions with low mobility. And Viego doesn't really have, he has a dash, but he doesn't really want to use it as a defensive tool. He wants to use it to engage. He wants to use it as a stun, right? And while he does have the ability, it's a bit of a charge up time to get there. It can be interrupted by the Trundle pillar, right? It's not as reliable as, say, like a Tristana jump or an Ezreal blink, right? So Trundle into this Viego matchup, even with the Chomp as well, will be able to steal some attack damage from Viego, lock him down, and then be able to 1v1 him in these kinds of scenarios.
Yeah, it's very helpful. Viego, the best thing Viego has against the Trundle is like he's got a little extra spot to put his little clouds if he wants to. So there's that opportunity. We're also looking Sylas into this matchup is actually pretty solid here. Trundle is always pretty decent for Sylas as he wants to get into the middle of a fight. Rakan allows him to basically be a setup for his team, as well as the Gnar ult. Gnar is deceptively strong as an ult for Sylas to steal, because there's no limit, there's no requirement to be in mega form. You can use the Gnar ult at any point. That is supposed to be the weakness of Gnar, that his ult is just gated behind that. Sylas does not ever have to worry about that.
Yeah, not to mention that Sylas has a lot of other good ultimates to take as well, besides just like Misfortune's bullet time. Quickness also isn't bad for Sylas as well, but I think the big one for me is that you can steal Trundle ult. Sylas right here can take Trundle ultimate after he's ulted Sejuani or Leona, right? And it does give like this weird, there's this weird interaction where Trundle is simultaneously growing and shrinking at the same time while it's on the map, but it is another counter pick to this Trundle here. Mythic Fabled kind of locked Top Shelf into picking the Trundle and then counter picked them 2 times, right?
Yep.
Swapping Sejuani and then locking in the Sylas. This is a really, really smart play by Mythic Fabled right here.
Yeah, I think the comfort in drafting and in competitive play is showing. I think that's one aspect of competitive play that we don't get to see very often, and I think it shows just how long these guys have been playing together, how long this team has been around, and how high level these guys are able to discuss the game and the meta components around it. Mythic Fabled able to put a really smart draft together while also getting really strong champions, right? All of these champions are in some way, shape, or form meta. I guess Sylas is kind of up in the air, but Viego is always being picked. Sejuani, Sivir, Leona is kind of coming up and down. She did just get a buff this patch. So these are all champs that are really strong while also being good against the composition that they picked up against here. Now, there is still the fact that they have to get through that laning phase. Victor getting fed, like any one of those solo or any one of these lanes that gets ahead can be a problem for the side of Mythic Fabled, right? You get a Misfortune ahead, bullet time, it doesn't matter that you guys have a good draft. You are getting shredded by that, and Rakan will make sure you stay in that. Victor can pop off very quickly as if he could get assists and kills to level up and evolve his abilities sooner. Gnar obviously has that split push pressure that can turn into a really solid team fight as well. So there's a lot of worlds in which you can see Top Shelf pop off here, but Mythic Fable definitely have set themselves up for a good game today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my only question marks when it comes to Mythic Fabled is more going to be about execution, right? And I think my biggest question mark is going to be on Olazi, right? I think we even discussed, I think in the time where we were where the bot accidentally wasn't here, right? Where we talked about kind of Olazi being what seems to be a jungle main kind of brought into the AD carry position.
Yeah.
123 games on Shyvana, 122 games on Kane, right? And while they do have a lot of games this season on AD carries, let's be clear, right? It's not like they just don't play AD carry ever, but it's still just like their recent performance, given their recent performance, and also the lack of the less experience on the AD carry role in comparison to a Doof on the other side here, who's a master AD carry player, and they play that role exclusively. Is
Hmm.
I want to see how that's going to play out in the bottom lane here, because Misfortune is a snowballing character. If they are
Yep.
able to get a lead, it's going to be a real tough time for this team to come back from it, especially because their only direct counter is Leona.
Yeah, I'm salty that didn't come through. Honestly, because that was a good bit. That was good. That was fun. I was going through their OPGGs. I was like, man, this guy's got a 9-game loss streak. Like GG, go next, like all that stuff. And then we get on to stream, and the first thing I end up doing is flaming myself instead. So this has been a rough night already. But I don't know. I think individual play is what's really going to be the difference maker, at least in this early game. But when you get into a point where if it's even, Mythic Fabled feel like they have kind of put themselves in positions to have advantages.
Right. For sure. But we are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 1 of Mythic Fabled versus Top Shelf. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and here we are on the Rift of game number 1 of Mythic versus Top Shelf. We already had an amazingly well-played draft phase. Let's see how it turns into gameplay here as we are about to get this game underway. Thousand, are you ready?
I am ready, and teams going just spreading out as per usual. Interesting to note here as we go through the keystones and summoner spells here. We have the fleet footwork on that top side for the Gnar, or that extra little bit of kiting power, but on the bot side specifically, we have that cleanse. Always want to have that when you are playing against a Leona. Having that ability to get away and out of that ultimate is a godsend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Cleanse is going to be very, very good against the enemy team. Not to mention Jess Sejuani, right? The Glacial Prison, the stun from Viego as well, and Silas has a stun on himself as well. There's a lot to cleanse off here, and so it's gonna be very useful to have that overheal this game. So very good by what is that, a doofoof? I what's
A
your best
doof.
guess at that pronunciation? Because I thought it was a doof, but then like that doesn't make any sense.
A doofoof. A
A
doofoof.
doofoof.
Yeah, a doofoof.
A doofoof.
We're just gonna
Either
say
way.
it enough times that somebody in Twitch chat flames us for saying it incorrectly. If we say it
yeah.
every way, we'll get flamed, but we'll also at least get it right one time.
Yeah, we'll at least have a bit, that's better than what we've been doing over the past casts.
Oh yeah,
Of-
absolutely.
yeah.
Most of them are.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, Too bad every time we throw something, it just does not stick. It just ricochets back at us. Regardless, already pretty standard starts across the board here. We're going to probably see some ganks over on this top half of the map as Trundle is pathing their way up. Pretty atypically here, we're seeing a full clear from the Trundle.
Yeah, one of the things I always bring up is just that Trundle generally wants to go for those buff Gromp starts in some way, shape, or form and go for a gank into a Scuttle Crab or something like that. This time we're getting the full clear, and you can kind of see why you don't get Trundle doing full clears very often, because already Viego able to match him pretty closely in clear and show up on that top side to either take the red buff or go for this early gank, as there's the Mega.
Yeah, Got You is going to be able to land the stun here. Ashford Cross trying to get away here. The stun does land with Sejuani.
Oh, they
Forces
stacked
the flash away. Good job. Going to be able to get them away here. Ashford Cross lives to tell the tale with just a bit of HP left. On the bottom here, Master Roshi, Gizzard. All right.
That's so frustrating, mainly just because they could have gotten that really easily. Level 2, level 3 is picked up here. But what was frustrating the most about that was just the fact that they got Gnar so low. If they had not stacked the stuns, it would have been better. Cadius in trouble now.
Yeah, Cadius in a whole lot of trouble. Forced to flash away here. That's going to be the next stun. Madame Lolo is coming in from the side here. Going to be able to find first blood. Going to get the reset on the Trundle here. Asher Cross now in some trouble. The troll pole comes down, but they're still in some trouble. They can hop away. Double kill for the Viego in the top lane. That is not good. That's not good.
Yeah, that was just a need to leave the jungler there. Jungler's just dead to rights. There is no real world in which you are going to save them. Do not risk yourself. And Asher Cross ends up paying the price. That's directly after a teleport too. And the wave is near Got You, who I have to imagine at the level that we're at will be able to freeze that lane as long as possible. Really good knockup bot side. Doofoof and Gizzard doing a great job here.
Yeah, but it's mostly just trading back and forth. I think now that Viego is so strong, like once again, we talked about it. Like before when we were talking about Misfortune, but Viego is also the same. Viego very much a snowbally like champion. Once they get a lead, it's very hard to fight them from that moment, right? It's just too much. They just deal too much damage. They get that free Zonia's hourglass in quotes, during a fight if they get kills, like it's just really, really tough to deal with. And now getting back into the jungle, tied in CS, and have 2 kills in their pocket. Even the amount of gold, you can even clearly see right here, 700 gold over their opponent here, 2 longswords cashed in already.
Yeah, so now, the question is, how do you handle this from the side of top shelf? Because you just cannot really risk going in unless Viego's not there.
Yeah, just like that. And it's just a 3rd kill under Viego's belt here as Lolo continues their rampage across the map. It's a real tough time in the early game here for top shelf.
It's very tough too, because it looked so good, but the greed is what ended up catching them. Viego going for another gank here, but he's not going to stick around for the Trundle, who was there for the counter. WCat going to tank that up. That's mostly just looking to force a back here. Modest Dryad with the health advantage can just shove this in and then try and back himself. So a nice little advantage for Modest Dryad here. But overall, yeah, this Viego doing really well, getting ganks off in areas where people are kind of playing aggressive, overly aggressive. Got you now, and
Oh,
yeah,
no.
okay.
Yeah, Asher crossed up in the top lane. It's a very easy kill. Man, this is really almost borderline disastrous here. What do you think? Is really
I think it's beyond the border. I think we have
beyond the
entered a new
border?
country.
Yeah, we're
And
entered a
this
new country,
is
Disasterville.
disastrous.
Maybe it's Disasterville for WCAT here, though. They're trying to turn this around. Just picked
Nope.
up the Trundle ultimate. Nope, we're firmly in Disasterville right now, as Gizzard now is going to be in some trouble. Can't dash over the wall. Flashes over instead. Uses the W to dash to Modest Druid here. And they're finally going to be able to get out, but they got the flash as well. This is just another kill onto their side of the map. And, you know, this is now looking at nearly a 2,500 gold lead at less than 10 minutes here. Is once again, Master Roshi's still looking for more.
Yeah, there is the cleanse, and that's not far off from when that level 6 point is going to hit there, as Master Roshi will be able to just hit that easily. So popping that cleanse, very good on the bot side. Suddenly, every lead that has been garnered so far ends up just kind of going to nothing here, as every lane starts falling apart. And now kind of the question becomes, like, how do you answer this? I think really the answer needs to be deep wards, paying attention to that Viego. But the problem now is becoming, okay, we've got to kill in the top side. We've got to kill in the mid lane. It's no longer just the Viego. We have advantages elsewhere.
Yeah, and really it's going to come down to playing towards this misfortune, as their win conditions. WCAT taken pretty low here,
Nicely
flashes
done.
forward, throws out the boomerang, going to be able to pick up the kill there. Modest Dryad picks up a kill for themselves in the mid lane.
And you know what that felt like to me? That felt like we're 5-0. Like, it doesn't matter. I could stay here. We just win these. It felt greedy. It felt a little bit lack of respect there for the burst damage that the Victor can have if you just give him an opportunity to hit everything, which Silas doesn't have much to stop that from happening. Yeah. So I feel like that's a little bit unfortunate. That's a little bit of greed here. I do like this here. Adufuf is going to try and bait a little bit. They're going to try and be like, all right, cool. Let's go in here. Gizzard ready to counter it as well by jumping on that Sivir.
Cadius here, though, has been found out by Got You. The Glacial Prison comes across, going to pop that ultimate, trying to turn this around as best they can. Asher cross, and meanwhile is trying to turn. It's trying to get onto the Viego, but it's already too late. Modest Dryad is going to go down, as now the blue team can chase forward. Trundle has gone down as well, and now it looks like Gnar is going to be the next target, as the Rift Herald also goes down as well. 2 for O and the Rift Herald as well. This is disaster central.
Yeah, we are in the middle of disaster.
Yeah.
As now
bot lane comes across here. Olazi might be in some trouble. That's going to be the ignite here, as Lolo looks for the turret dive on the top side here. Good start by Got You here. That's going to be an easy kill. Got You's on a killing spree. 3-0-2 on the Sejuani now.
Yeah, the strength that this Sejuani has when ahead is terrifying, because the base damages are there. The ignite adds to that damage, and when you combo the ult with the E, there's a lot of percent health damage. There's a lot of just straight up power that is coming through. So once a Sejuani does get ahead, it is really hard to pressure her. She gets tanky. She gets to a point where you can't 1v1 her. And she's going to then show up to team fights and be such a crazy good frontliner. As now we do see Rift Herald not going to get another charge. But man, just everything going worse and worse here for Top Shelf. Is the big scary thing here too is look at the MF right now and look at her items.
Yep.
It is Serrated Dirk. Meaning that we are not getting the Kraken Slayer, we are not getting the damage, auto attack, DPS focus MF. It is the lethality. It is all in on that bullet time. And at the rate that this Sejuani is going, I don't think that's going to be good. I think that's going to really struggle, because Sejuani, especially with the passive going, will just run through that like it's nothing.
Right. But I think the question is, do you think it's too late to start selling those items and turn them into Kraken Slayer?
I think it became a little bit too late when you took the Comet. It becomes harder to go into once you do have that.
Yeah, but now the red team is in a bit of trouble here. That's going to be the Glacial Prison coming down. But actually, Cadius is going to be able to pick up 1 kill here. They did pop the ultimate, and they're still staying alive. The Chaos Storm is good, but here comes Viego in from the side. Going to use the Heartbreaker. Still can't collapse and find these last few bit of damage here. That's going to be the Troll Zone coming down for just a little bit longer. Going to give him a bit of extra movement speed. Gizzard coming in from the side, trying to give space. At least being a sacrificial land. Pops over the wall. Going to jump over to Cadius here. Saves their jungler's life, and they turn it into a 1-for-1.
A 1-for-1 that is going to always work out there for Top Shelf as they are trying desperately to get back into this game. That was an engage started by Mythic as well, remember. So they used that, they used the Sejuani ult, they got the Sylas in there, and they all just stood there in a spot where Victor was able to lay down all of his abilities right on the same spot and hit everybody with it. So the amount of damage put out in that moment was crazy strong. You also had the why am I blanking on the name there? The what is the keystone?
Aftershock.
No.
Grasp of the Undying Conqueror.
No one has Aftershock in here. What are you?
I don't know. I'm just listing off
Victor
things.
One.
Okay, that's going to be Phase Rush.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The Phase Rush. Look, God, we get paid to do this. Can you guys believe that? The Phase Rush gave so much extra move speed for Victor to get out of that, and that just gave so much time to chase down. Finally, Victor did fall, but it did mean that Cadius was able to get out thanks to the little bit of pressure from the Rakan in the process.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was a well-played moment in order to get just a 1-for-1, right? Like, at this stage, like, getting a 1-for-1 while you're behind is pretty good for your team if you're behind. And sure, you're still giving over a death, but you're putting more money into your pockets than you would if had it not been that way, right? Just getting more money into your pockets is still better than not getting any at all, obviously, right? Let it be known that the play-by-play caster does nothing but point out the obvious.
I never expected anything less.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Thought?
Play-by-play caster breathes air? Question mark?
Whoa. Modest Dryad here going to be in a bit of trouble here. Stunned up, CC'd for an eternity. They're going to go down. WCAT going to be the one picking up the kill. Here's Lolo looking for the turret dive at the bottom.
Flash,
throwing out the bullet time, but it's not going to be able to stop them this time. Madam Lolo actually in some trouble here. Cadius is actually doing a whole lot of damage. Red buff tick is going to be the one picking up the kill there. As Olazi is still looking for a little bit more. Cadius is actually taking really low. That boomerang blade is still bouncing. They have to be careful. Sejuani is looking for a little bit more of the wall. They're looking for the dive. They don't have the ultimate available, but the swing is good. Can they still get it? They're out of there. That's going to be a 1-for-2, but they pick up the shutdown onto Viego.
I don't think that Got was prepared for that W to actually hit there at the edge, and Cadius still got out, and once again, it is 1-for-1 at the end of the day. They trade Misfortune for the fed Viego, and I actually do want to check here. That was a shutdown. That was 650 gold to the Trundle there for that kill. That is a net win in any scenario, let alone being behind this much for Top Shelf. They finally got this Trundle back in the game. He has the Divine Sunder not Keystone, Mythic items are coming in across the board here. And I think this is really where you could see Top Shelf start to do something. They have the setup to maybe pull off some fights. I think they have to take these fights not 5v5 though. I think it has to be a 4v5 or something like that, where they are setting everything up perfectly and then make that happen. If they do that, even with a 5v5 fight, I think they still are going to end up losing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they already have so many members on the enemy team who are so far ahead, not even in kills, but with CS as well. Take a look at Sejuani, 94 over 88 here. So, you know, these are opportunities that are you're gonna have to look for in these numbers advantages in order to give yourself the edge, right? But now we take a look at this Drake here. Ocean Drake is now going down, and that's gonna be the second Drake going over to Mythic here. Let's see, we have a Hex Tech Rift, which is more just snowballing power to whichever team is already ahead.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it does give a little bit of help with the gates to get in and out of situations, but Ultimately here, no, why are we fighting
Gizzard
this?
is in a whole lot of trouble here. Going to use the quickness and the E in order to get away, but Cadia still kind of wants to fight here. Glacial Prison comes across here. A Doof is going to actually throw out the bullet time here. They're able to pick up one. We have a teleport coming in, though. They have to watch that. WCAT comes in. Cadius is in some trouble, and they might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew here. Gnar goes into the wall, but now they get the double reset. It goes 2 for 2, but they pick up the shutdown onto Sejuani.
Yeah, so there we go. Trundle getting another shutdown there. 700 gold for that one. And Dryad, meanwhile, just split pushing on his own in the top side. I was a little scared when I saw Gizzard go in there. I thought the response would be a little bit quicker and more succinct there. But with that Leona ult missing and with the team just not fully in sync and ready for that fight, there was a great setup for that Trundle pillar to allow for the bullet time to shred most of the people in that fight and give Top Shelf a couple of kills. And because they did that, even with the fact that they did not have their Victor, that was huge. So yeah, Top Shelf are not going down without a fight in any sense of the word.
Yeah, for sure. As now we're taking a look at the rest of the map here. Mythic has gone and picked up the Rift Herald here, and they are just doing such a great job of maintaining control over that specific neutral objective there. As now they have more pushing power onto these tier 2 turrets, which, reminder, don't heal. The damage on those turrets is going to be permanent, and that is going to be a real good way to show pressure later on when you don't have the Rift Herald, right? When maybe you have a Baron, right? Even if you're not able to get a kill, one charge from the Rift Herald is going to be so incredibly powerful.
Very, very good, and that will hopefully turn into something as we see Mythic trying desperately to keep their pressure in this game.
Lolo might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew here. Gonna have to use Heartbreaker to go over the wall. Will they be followed? Got you. Is gonna be good. I think that was a little close. A little close there.
That was I think ill-advised is the best word that I could think for that one. I mean, I get, okay, you're 5-1 as Viego. You're a god among men, but you still got to respect the fact that, like, hey, I don't know what's at the end of this tunnel, and there could be god-slaying fiends at the end of this tunnel, as there were in
It's
Top
like
Shelf.
going through the mist and realizing that the boss that you have to fight in Dark Souls is just a lot more powerful than you thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
and you're just like, let me out, let me out, let me out.
Yeah. Or like you're just like, oh, cool. There'll be a save point before the boss fight, and then there isn't. You get up there, and just okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. Don't want this.
I'll have to just go back and do this all again, I guess.
Yeah. You walk through an area. Why is there boss music playing?
Yeah.
That's my Dark Souls music impression. What do you think?
I was really hoping you were gonna say Dark Souls impression, just so you could like be like you're doing an impression of the video game.
Yeah, I'm doing an impression of Jonathan Dark Souls.
Oh my god.
Oh man, Jonathan! Everyone loves Jonathan Dark Souls. Everyone's a good fan favorite Jonathan Dark Souls. You know, he's a little bit of a stern kind of guy. You know, a little bit hard to interact with. But you know, once you get to know him, he's kind of cool. He's a bit of a nerd.
Do not play enough Dark Souls to have like opinions on this. I tried playing Dark Souls 3 and I just got completely dumpstered over and over again. I was like, all right, I'm good. I get it.
Yeah, I have about the same relationship. It was the same with me with like Bloodborne. And then it was like, haha, it hard. I'm just like, okay, bye. Cool.
It sure do be.
Yeah,
let me know when you guys go somewhere else.
Yeah. Let me know when y'all have a good fun time somewhere else. It's also like a bunch of other things, but you know, that's a discussion for another time. Drake is spawning in about 20 seconds, and a Doofoof might actually be in some trouble here. Might actually be for Lolo, as Master Roshi's going to dive in here, but already taking a considerable amount of damage from the bullet time here. That's going to be the immutable dive onto Misfortune here, but they're able to turn it around as best they can. It's 1-for-1 so far. They're still trying to dive in, but these red health bars are going down. Just when you thought it was even, the blue team shows up in force, and they're still looking for more. Olazi's going to be the one finding Gnar, and can they pick up the ace? They're so close. Modest Dryad is running for their life. Can they survive? God, you is so tanky. They can't get away. There's the gravity shield. They're going to use the executing in order to get away. They're trying to dive. They're going underneath the turret. There is a turret there. You can't leave. It's the ace. Silas picks up the last kill. They get the 5-for-0. They're getting a mid turret, and they're getting the first Hex-Tech Drake.
There is Mythic putting their foot down finally after... Honestly, that fight was a little bit of a comedy of errors at the start of it. We saw the failed engage from Madden and Lolo, and then we saw the counter failed engage from Gizzard, and then Master Roshi following up on that, but that was really the only person tanking that bullet time. A very aggressive bullet time early on without that setup meant that only the tank, only that support was the one tanking that bullet time. Not what you want at this point in the game. It needs to be everybody. As Dufoof, you were a little too far up there, buddy.
Yeah, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble there. They're going to have to dive out of here, taking incredibly low. Asher Cross going to dive onto the back end.
Disengage
very,
this?
very good disengage, might I add. Holy moly. Yeah, I think they just get away from that easy.
Rakan did a lot of work in that one. The shields, the knockups, the Guardian, everything there worked out perfectly. But yeah, it's you when you are playing Misfortune, and you are playing Misfortune specifically in this style of the Eclipse Manamune with all of the lethality, you have to be very particular about how you use that bullet time, because otherwise it is just not going to be worth picking. It's not going to be worth using because you're just throwing the cooldown out when it's not doing anything. And that time we saw it thrown early. We did not actually get any real damage off of it. And while it looked like a good start, that's because they blew everything and then didn't get any kills. Then there was nothing left. Then Silas showed up and everything went to hell.
Yeah, for sure. This is once again, you know, we talked about this game. You know, there are moments of brilliance for Top Shelf here, but it's just that's all it seems to be, right? Like their Misfortune isn't terribly behind and still has a decent chunk of damage that needs to be respected. But for the most part, like Viego is so far ahead, Sejuani is so far ahead that it just seems like competing in these team fights 5v5, like you said, is just insanely hard to do.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. And now we kind of talked about how they have to play this composition perfectly to make it work, right? We haven't seen that. We saw that one time where they traded pretty evenly in a fight where they shouldn't have, but that was everything aligning just perfectly for them, and they still only came out even. It's gonna have to be even more in their favor just to make it happen, as they're continually falling behind, and it's gonna get harder and harder. This MF is going to fall off hard.
Oh, no. That Leona ultimate was insane, and a Dufoof right when they thought they had the best ultimate available. WCAT is going to come in from the backside to be able to stop that, as now one by one the red team is falling. The only one left is Asher Cross, as a double kill for Sejuani comes through. Manamam is going to be able to pick up the kill on the Victor, and now with only Leona dead, they're making their way over to Baron.
Yeah, this is exactly what Mythic were looking for. Get that engage. It's pretty easy from that point on, and you just wipe the floor. Then we get the Baron, then we get more ahead, more money. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and the disastrous get more disastrouser.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, once again, it's just a really, really tough time. I feel like I'm just on a repeating record at this point, a broken record. That is just like it's. You take a look at the kills, you take a look at the CS, you take a look at the gold, you take a look at the dragons, you take a look at the turrets, and there's not a whole lot of positives for Top Shelf here.
Yeah, it's kind of just at the point where the damage just isn't there. The items are not stacking up. We are over a 13k gold lead right now for Mythic Fabled. And at that point, you just can't really go toe-to-toe. You're pretty much fighting people a foot taller than you and have 50 extra pounds.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of opportunities to actually really get in there unless you are kind of taking the cheap shots, looking for the opportunities that don't always present themselves. And it's just going to take a massive blunder, I think, for Mythic to end up losing this game.
Yeah, for sure. Is now Madam Lolo here doing a good job of being the front line here for this vision game that's been going back and forth here. So they're really trying to edge their way into this dragon pit. Still are doing a hard time. This is sole point for the blue team here. You still want to keep them out of this for as long as possible. WCAT does pick up the Gnar ultimate here. Sejuani coming over the wall. They're looking for the engage. The chains don't land. Gotyu's looking for a little bit more over the wall. Gonna not land the W just yet. Leona ultimate comes down, and that's going to be a lot missed here. Gizzard goes in, but will they be able to follow up? That's a no, because bullet time was immediately taken down here. One by one, the red team is going down. Cadius is so low here. They're looking for a little bit more. They're not going to be able to. They're going to be able to find it here as Lolo is still looking for Asher Cross here. They're going to be able to CC them for just a little bit longer, but you know what? You can live to tell the tale. I don't care. I'm marching onto your inhibitor turrets.
That was so unfortunate. We saw so many engaged potential miss from the side of Mythic, and then the engage from Gizzard was great. It was perfect. They were grouped up, ready for the bullet time, but Adufuf never got the opportunity. The Gnarl, I believe, from the Silas just obliterated that backside, and there was no way to follow up on that engage. Rakan immediately dies afterwards, and then WCAT just gonna run away here.
Yeah, gonna steal that Rakan ultimate and then immediately back away here. Yeah, they're perfectly safe. They nearly all got out through the Hex gates there. As now that's going to be the Hex Tech Drake picked up for this time round, and they're going to be able to find that for themselves as well. 27.5 minutes into this game, we're looking at nearly a 15,000 gold lead through 2 dragons up, 7 turrets up. I mean, you can't make these numbers up. I mean, this is very quickly at this point. It's just, and it was probably earlier on at this point, but we already have to start talking about game 2.
I feel like it's at that point. A 14,500 gold lead is probably at the point where your game is a little, what most would call unsalvageable.
Yeah, I would probably say that. That's probably a number where I would probably be like, yep, that sounds about right.
Doomed, go next. Yeah, like yep. those terms are the ones that I'm familiar with at the very least. As I think really it's just going to be, I think what kind of does worry me a little bit though is the fact that we're seeing Mythic this far ahead and kind of just not take advantage of that. It feels a little slow. Like, granted, it is solid. They've only given away 7 kills, but it feels like the game really could be closed out a little bit more, a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive. We've seen a lot of missed engages as well from Mythic, so I think really that's kind of what's scary here. Adufuf in trouble.
This might be a good initiation right here. Bullet time comes across, but Lolo is going to dodge around it, and WCAT goes golden. They're taken low here. These are going to be some important characters for the blue team taken down here. The tower has still not gone down, but take a look in the back here. The Nexus turrets are also taking a whole lot of damage. As Olazi is doing a whole lot of damage from the back side here. As Misfortune is able to find the kill on to Misfortune, is going to be able to find that shutdown there, but it's still not done yet. These Nexus turrets are going down, and Mythic Fabled is not wasting any time. They're immediately going back for this turret.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the power this gives you. You lose a man, like, all right, cool. Like, we've still got more money than you that we could throw around and try and take out this tower, this inhibitor. But, man, I thought for a second that was going to be the game. Gizzard did die immediately, and Adufuf, I think what scared me the most was the fact that WCAT got the Everfrost onto Adufuf. I thought that was it, but they still could not get back there. There was enough people in that front line to keep them off the MF, and Viego getting caught in the middle of that, while the low level of Rakan, this is kind of one of the things people don't really talk enough about, I think, because it doesn't really become relevant, but when you're this far ahead as Viego, stealing people starts to become a risk, because remember, you steal them and you steal their items and levels and all of that, right? You are not getting a stronger character. You are getting, like, the big thing is supposed to be the health can make up for that, right? The health and the invulnerability and the resets of the cooldowns can make up for that. But when you're this far ahead, it feels like it can be a liability sometimes when you take somebody that squishy deep into the middle of a fight.
Yeah, for sure. Is now you're totally right too, and even if you get the heals off of getting that reset as well, you better get that kill really quickly afterwards, or else you're stuck in a body that is going to fall apart if you're not careful. Now, as blue team leading a bit of a stealth mission here, looking to maybe catch someone out, but I think they're making their way over to the Baron buff in order to give themselves a very assured 100% win here.
Yeah, this is definitely another Baron that they will not be able to contest. So Top Shelf just going to hold back and clear things out. And I think credit where it is due. We've seen this now a couple of times. Top Shelf have not contested objectives that they really had no right to contest.
Right.
The amount of times that I'm sure you and I both have watched teams like go in and be like, all right, well, we're behind, but maybe we could steal the dragon. Maybe we can make it work. And then
Yeah.
end up giving 2, 3, 4, or 5 kills over is immense as Viego has stopped moving. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oops.
Viego was not animating.
Wow. Wonderful. Love to see it.
But regardless, we have not seen Top Shelf do the same. They've recognized, all right, we are behind. We cannot contest these objectives. We do not want to walk up there. Cadius, don't
Oh,
caster curse this, buddy.
no. Oh, no. Cadius here is going to be taken down here, and Viego is going to grab onto Trundle here. With that reset, are they going to go for Drake, or are they going to try to end the game? They do have a 4v5 now. Inhibitors are going to be the target first. They're looking to take them down, both two sides here. They have a cannon minion wave as well coming up from the mid side. You might have one from the bot as well. So this is going to be very tough. Glacial Prison comes out here, but doesn't land, so leaves a slow field behind here. So now they're going to dive forward, land the stun on a modest Dryad here, and this is the last ditch ever, but that is a great Gnar into the wall, throwing them back into the summoner
Bullet
platform. Is going to
time.
be able to find one kill here. Bullet time is going to be able to find another. They might be able to live, but look at those Baroned up minions taking down the Nexus. That's going to be winions for Mythic Fabled as they take game number 1.
Yeah, Mythic Fabled looking solid from start to finish. Like I said before, a little bit of a cleaner closeout, a little bit of a stronger mid game, and avoiding those missed engages is things that I want to see. But overall, you have to look at where they are, where they have, started this game to where they are now. You end a game with over 15,000 gold lead. You are doing something right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is insanely well played by Mythic Fabled here. Like, textbook from start to finish. Like you said, it was a little slow to end the game. They wanted to make sure they were looking for their 100%, didn't want to gamble on anything, and so they were getting their Baron buffs at the end. They were being very reserved sometimes with how they were engaging, or if they did engage, they made sure they lost as little as possible. However, we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be in picks and bans of game number 2 of Mythic Fabled up against Top Shelf. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes. And here we are in picks and bans of game number 2 of Mythic Fabled up against Top Shelf. We haven't seen a side swap this game, so Mythic Fabled is still on the blue. Top Shelf going to give themselves the counter pick on the red side. Now, game number 1 didn't go over so well for Top Shelf. They seemed to be pigeonholed and cornered into a well-orchestrated draft by Mythic Fabled, which was then followed up by a textbook precision win by Mythic Fabled on top of that. It seemed both aspects of the game are in Mythic Fabled's hand, but we'll have to see if Top Shelf can turn it around this game, show us that they are the patron of Style Esports, and turn this around and bring us to a game 3. Thousand, are you ready?
I am ready, as we are into the bans already, and so far bans not really changing here. We're seeing a slight different order from Top Shelf, but nothing that hasn't already been banned. And then Mythic Fabled banning the same. Why would they change their bans? Top Shelf also not changing their bans. That's currently the salty run back.
Yeah. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, there wasn't a whole lot of picks that Top Shelf did in the previous game that allowed that Mythic Fable was particularly scared of, right? They had the answer for everything that Top Shelf seemed to draft here. So now I want to see what Top Shelf is going to put together here. And it looks like the answer might be Twitch Yumi, but it's going to be Lee Sin is going to be the lock-in for Top Shelf here.
Yeah, so still waiting on a support here, but Lee Sin did get a couple of buffs in the last patch, which should help him get in and around and do his thing just a little bit better. Yeah, Mythic Fabled, I would not be surprised to see Sejuani Leona here. Just go for what worked before. I don't think there is a real weakness to what that composition at least proposed that you are currently seeing. Lulu is also an opportunity, but I think the engage potential of the Leona was really good. Maybe this time I guess they're expecting a little bit more backline assassination here. With the Twitch and the Lee Sin already picked, you don't really need to have that front line for a misfortune type, right? So it's looking maybe a little bit more mobile, a little bit like they might try and get in. Lulu, very good at stopping assassins with that polymorph.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really good that Lulu, the only problem here is that Lulu has a very short range. So if she wants to get in range of Twitch, she's going to have to eat a whole lot of auto attacks before actually getting in there and being able to polymorph the Twitch. That's my only problem. However, up against a Lee Sin who's looking to kick maybe your Sivir or maybe another champion of yours into their back line here and maybe into range of Twitch means that you are going to need that polymorph for that instance. I think the other big thing here is that Sejuani will need essentially less items in order to turn into a mega tank monster.
Yeah, it was we'll see how that works out. Swain gonna be picked up here. And now that really kind of Top Shelf are going for something very different here, obviously. Last time around, we saw a little bit more of that Wombo combo. This time around, maybe a little bit more laning presence in that Twitch Nami. And Sivir, Lulu don't really have many chances to stop that. They don't have the tools to really do a lot against that. Currently, the Swain is the blind pick. Swain has been a pretty popular blind pick in the mid lane for the last couple of patches. But going into Lux. Lux does really well with the Swain because Swain is, I would say, a low range mage compared to Lux, who can hit people from a long distance.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
say no way.
It's hovers. Don't buy the hovers.
Yeah, it at least like warrants a no way. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Okay, you can't get debated. Dun, 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 dun. But now we have the final counter pick here for Top Shelf, which means that that top laner is going to have to deal with either Wukong or Sejuani here. Either are insanely flexible, and it's going to make Top Shelf's pick here very, very hard to do. So here we go. It's Shen.
Shen works. The big thing that you would have to worry about is if it is the Sejuani top, Shen can get his teleport stopped by a lot of what Sejuani does. The ult, the E, if you can stack that up enough, the Q, like everything's going to interrupt that Shen, but the shield obviously still will go through. It looks like Top Shelf are hard putting a lot into this Twitch to try and see if they can make something happen with that. And there's the opportunity to pivot that into the Swain if Swain does end up getting fed here. I don't foresee that happening. I think the Twitch is probably your better option. Swain, like we said, gonna struggle hard in this lane against the Lux because he's not gonna be able to walk up to the lane and farm. He's not going to be able to walk up and hit the Lux with those bindings. It's just going to be a lot of cowering under the tower and waiting for maybe a gank from the Lee Sin if Lux pushes up too far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really going to be kind of tough. I don't know. Honestly, to me, I feel like Lux is going to have such an easier time against the Swain in this lane, right?
Yep.
Lux is going to be such a pain to try to deal with if you're the Swain, right? Even though you have some healing built into your kit, just the amount of poke that she has from long distances is going to be just a really, really tough time for the Swain. And then the top lane, we still kind of don't know who's going where yet. I mean, okay, so never mind. We have got you on the Sejuani one more time, and Lolo, come on. Come on. Go back to the Wukong.
Yeah,
put it away.
Yeah.
You can't debate me twice, okay? You can't do it. All right?
We already know what you have to pick.
Yeah,
it doesn't work when you hover it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Mythic Fabled, I think, have a better team fight this time around. You have the Wukong as well as the just kind of AoE damage from the Lux. The Sivert Lulu is obviously really good, and Sejuani will frontline really well compared to something like the Viego last time, which kind of just took over the game. But Top Shelf, it's weird because their 5v5 is actually solid, just harder to execute because Twitch wants to come out and pop out in weird weird situations, weird angles that you wouldn't generally see an AD carry in. You can put so much onto him with the Nami, the Shen ult. Lee Sin can kick away people like Sejuani to make sure that the Twitch does not die. But then it just kind of relies on Swain getting into that fight and being enough of a front line to give Twitch the time to then do that damage. And I don't know if that's going to be enough for them. Sivir damage gets really high, and Shen needs that time to ult into the fight and then be able to protect that Twitch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really is going to be tough. And the other thing is there are a lot of short range and melee champions on Top Shelf, right? Swain and Twitch are both rather short range, and then Lee Sin and Shen are going to be your melee champions as well, going to be hovering around each other like pretty closely. And then Nami needs to be kind of in the middle of the fight in order to maximize the availability of her spells and with ebb and to maximize the healing from ebb and flow as well. So you have a lot of scenarios where Lux and Sivir and even Wukong can pop off with a lot of their strong abilities. Being close together like this is going to lead to a whole lot of disaster in these team fights here, as that seems to be, our word of the day. So it's going to come down to execution for me here. Once again, right? We have a comp that works kind of well, right? Nami has a whole lot of CC. Swain is good at keeping people. Swain is going to be able to capitalize on keeping people in that kind of small distance, and then Twitch will be able to help finish them off as well. But, will we see that strong kind of Mythic Fabled one more time that didn't really give an inch even in the beginning of the game?
Yeah, it's so this definitely is going to be a slower ramp up for Mythic, right? They have Lux doing well. Sivir Lulu feels like it's just kind of a farm lane. You have some power, but it's not really like there is no go button. There is no engage. There's no way to actually continue a fight if the other team doesn't want it. Whereas you have Twitch that can just pop out with the Nami and be really strong. that is kind of I think Top Shelf can play around that a bit in the early game. Lee Sin is going to have an impact here, I think, to really get things going on the right foot. If you give time for that Wukong to basically just farm to 6 and we get to dragon skirmishes, we get to skirmishes around the Rift Herald, it's going to get rough because these teams, the team composition Mythic have put together works really well together. Wukong to speed up, be sped up by the Sivir and the Sejuani also getting sped up. Lux over the top of a Cyclone with the Sejuani ult as well. Like there's a lot of great setup and follow through. It's not just going to be about winning the lane or the early game as hard as it did in game 1. If they do win as hard as they did in game 1, I don't really know what your answer is going to have to be from there.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be on the Rift of game number 2 of Mythic Fabled versus Top Shelf. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and here we are on the Rift of game number 2 of Mythic Fabled versus Top Shelf. Top Shelf is on the red side once more, and Mythic Fabled is on the blue. And here we are. We've got a 5-man invade on both sides, looking to get information on the opposing junglers here in order to gain an advantage on the early game here. But it looks like it might just be a steal. We might be getting a buff steal here.
Quite possibly. I think both teams looking for a little bit of funky level 1 action, which is interesting because you look at the level 1s here. Shen. No. Oh, this is not going to be good.
Oh, no. Wait. They might be able to meet. Oh.
They're going to see. They're going to see.
Yeah. They both have spotted them here. Shen is gone. Shen is no longer here. This is a 4v4 now. 4v3. If they're caught out, WCAT throws out the binding here.
Oh
Ooh,
my
great
god.
snare. Great snare by Modest Dryad there. Okay, that was
That is
nearly horrible, but it looks like they're finally able to get away there. They're going to get some vision onto Madame Lolo here, and they're going to go back to their lanes. Red start for Lee Sin, going to path his way bottom, so it looks like it's all eyes on this Twitch down in the bottom lane.
that is already 37 health to that Swain, or 36 health to that Swain. That is a chunk of health. That is actually like a substantial amount to involve there. Important to note too that we do have the electrocute on the Nami, so we're looking for early game pressure. We're looking to see this Twitch show up and go invisible in that lane, and then pop out, make things really rough, and try and use that power to their advantage. They recognize that they cannot just let this game go slow. They have to be pushing the issue.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's just so greedy here, right? Like you kind of have to rely on a Doofoof here of really getting these first 3 hits. 1, yeah, see right there, 2, and there's the electrocute there, but yeah, oh, they're taking incredibly low here. Might be able to come out.
There we
Gizzard
go.
flashes forward, able to find the first blood here. Alazi, though, looking for the return kill here. Gonna throw out the boomerang bait. Gizzard taken really low here. The shield comes out, but Alazi might come into this. Adufu flashes forward. Alazi looking for it, taken incredibly low. The dots are ticking, but the
the flash
flashes around the turret. Adufu is gonna be the one taking up that 2-for-1 down in the that's going to be a 2-for-1 down the bottom lane for the red team, and a Doofoof picking themselves up 1 and Gizzard picking up the other.
That is all summoners blown on that bot side as well. Alaza got a little too aggro there, got the Nami kill, but at what cost? Tried to stick around thinking that they could get that Twitch kill as well, but a Doofoof with a nice flash at the end of that to make sure the boomerang blade, so much of that early game damage from Sivir, did not end up hitting, and get out of that fight with the win. So Doofoof, I think, really coming out ahead there, because you get that, you get the back, you have the opportunity now with this wave crashing. There is a lot of farm to catch up on here that Sivir just did not get the opportunity to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is good because now this puts a bunch of gold into Twitch's pocket here, and now with the wave kind of shoved in here, Twitch is not bad at taking minions kind of early on here. You know, the dot does make it a little awkward, but you know, still has good AoE clear regardless with the flash that he throws. This Modest Dryad might be in some trouble here. Gonna get some damage here, but that gank is not going to be successful as a Doofoof.
There we
For
go.
the kill here. That's going to be 1, 2. There's the electrocute like coming through here, but they're able to deal a decent chunk of damage. Force Master Roshi and Alazi away from the wave.
And these early trades where they go even actually work out in the favor of Top Shelf, because they have that Nami, they have the heal, so those health bars are a little bit more malleable. Asher Cross missing the taunt on the top side, but here comes Lee.
Yeah, Cadius is coming in from the side here, looking for Got You. Level 4, remind you, so does not have that kick just yet. Has to go through the alcove here, which gives Asher Cross just a good idea to come in here. And that's going to be Swain dropping the assist as well, as now Madame Lolo down to the bottom lane here. Gizzard taken incredibly low. There's not a whole lot that a Doofoof can do to help them here, so they're just going to deal as much damage as possible. They're going to grab Nami and back away. It's a 1-for-1 across the map.
Yeah, we see Madame Lolo actually doing a really great job of saying, all right, cool. All those summoners are burned bot. I should come bot. I should get our lane back in order there and punish any kind of aggression, because they're going to be aggressive after that. So getting down there, helping out that team. Cadius does a great job as well up on that top side. Asher Cross setting up nicely with the way the wave was set. But I think the really smart adaptation is Wukong maybe trying to come again. A Doofoof is seen on this ward.
Yeah, he's going to have to go invisible here, but Wukong has a trick up his sleeve as well. Brad is actually looking for the re-engage here. Madame Lolo, that's going to be... Ooh, they need to hit 3 of the same target here, so not going to trigger the electrocute just yet. So they are going to continue to pressure here. A Doofoof, at this early game, this passive that Twitch has does make them a lot more dangerous than they should bite off here. So they need to be a little bit more careful when looking to engage this Twitch.
Yeah, we do see. I did want to take a quick check. Actually, is 250? Yeah, too close to the tower right now. They need to just crash this. and then try and get a solid back off here after all is said and done. But I wanted to check and see. Sometimes you see Nami's actually after when they go for the electrocute in that early aggression, you can see him put an extra point or two in that E just for the damage. That time did check Gizzard currently running just the second point in that heal. So sticking with the standard leveling process, just changing up the keystone currently.
Yeah, and it should be able, I think the slow is increased as well. That's like another really big factor in it as well, because it does give you a larger opportunity to get that third hit. Like it's a 20% slow at level 2. So you get the damage, you get the slow, you get a bit of a lower cooldown as well. So I mean, I don't mind it. I think Gizzard level 5 should, I agree with you, should put a second point into that.
I messed around a little bit. Nami's one of my most played champs. And I messed around a little bit with the electrocute Nami and Max doing kind of like what Yumi does of kind of going back and forth between them. That actually felt pretty solid because you still get those heals. You still have that ability to kind of win fights because you were just trading evenly and healing afterwards, but also getting that extra damage down being really helpful as well.
W count here, taking a bit of damage here, but Modest Dryad taking a bit in response. So just some trading back and forth on the mid lane. As we take stock of where we are, because it's 740 earlier on in the other game, we saw a lot more blood being shed by the blue team here. And in this time around, seeing a little bit of a different story, a lot more even here, 400 gold in the lead for top shelf here. So definitely turning stuff around a little bit. And it's starting, excuse me, in this bot lane here with that gold, with that CS lead.
Yeah, and we also see mid lane starting to turn back around a little bit. Cadius going to be around here just for the possibility of the engage from that Sejuani, but not going to happen. We're seeing mid lane turn around a little bit too. Obviously had a pretty solid start with that early grab, but I think the biggest thing is that we have the lost chapters picked up by both mid laners, meaning Swain has much more opportunity to go for those grabs, to go for those Ws. Swain can really struggle with how hard his abilities can be to hit.
Well-timed dash here by Asher Cross here. Good flash as well is going to put them to safety as Spray and Pray is being procced by a Doofoof in the bot lane there. Rat-a-tat-tat going to pop the Expunge here as well. The Ignite is ticking. There's the shield, though. So they're going to be able to live to tell the tale, and Modest Dryad and them are going to be doing a bit of fighting as well, but Gizzard and a Doofoof looking for the dive here. Goes invisible. That's going to be the bobble coming out here. Alazi trying to turn this into a 1-for-1 as best they can, but a Doofoof in the bot lane is going to be the one picking up the kill. And they're going to be able to pick up that easy 1-for-0. Going to force Lulu out of lane as well. Going to pick up some turret plates to boot.
Yeah, that was really smooth, too, by Gizzard to just get that early grab. Modest Dryad going in.
Ooh, yeah, that's the ultimate for Modest Dryad here. They're going to be able to live underneath the turret. Yep. Oh, no. Okay. They grab a 1-for-1 for themselves, which I don't think is too bad, right? You get another kill into the Lee Sin, propelling them forward a little bit more. Lee Sin might be out of there. Okay, looks like they have to 1v1, go forward, hop over the wall. Okay, Manalolo looking to fight as well. Cadius has to flash back over the wall, and now they really have to fight to get out of here. Okay.
Oh, no.
Q to get to Sejuani. Gonna ward hop again.
Oh,
no. It was so close. So close to getting out, but no cigar this time. Lee Sin is going to go down, and the kill is going over to Sejuani.
You could have told me if that had not hit, I would have believed you. If they had the Sejuani W there, that was very much on the edge there. Just barely. Cadius gets hit by the very end of it, and that is that. So Sejuani picking up a kill, and we saw what Gotti was able to do with a lead last time around on this Sejuani. So that's a little bit scary. And unfortunately, yeah, just trading the 2-for-0 or the 2-for-1 in that mid lane, not ideal. And you can see a Doofoof, the pressure that this Twitch can have when Twitch gets ahead. You could just sit up there lazy. Yeah, like this is so awful to deal with.
Yeah, is now Master Roshi in some trouble here. Goes down almost instantly. WCAT coming down here, but a little too late to assist their teammates here. As now a Doofoof looking really strong on this Twitch with just a Blade of the Rune King.
I mean, that's all you need. That's really
Yeah.
what Twitch loves having.
Yeah, is that's going to be... Oh, they're looking for Tidal Wave here. Adam Lolo might be in some trouble. They land the Q here. They don't have that big kick available. Dufuf is going to be able to pick up that kill and
Got
flash
you
away
is in
here.
trouble.
And now, yeah, Got You might be in some trouble. That's good. They're going to have to dodge. They're going to have to do a good job of tanking this turret, and they do. They're going to pick up another kill here. That's 3 for O. But WCat wanting something from himself, going to be able to find the shutdown onto Twitch here, kind of turn this around, but they're going to die as well, as Asher Cross is going to be the one picking up the kill there, as now it's a 4 for 2, or 4 for 1 rather, in favor of Top Shelf.
Top Shelf keeping the pressure on here in this bot side and making sure that they do not allow this Sivir in the game. I think anybody who's played against the revamped Sivir has kind of recognized her late game presence is strong. Ricochet does so much damage in team fights, and it's very hard to not get hit by. But overall here, this is just Twitch and the rest of the team playing around him. Has now Twitch 3-1-3. And having Swain and Lee Sin come down, the Shen ult as well. Team composition is forming into exactly what Top Shelf needed. And now they're looking to maybe try and get a second dragon and keep their aggression, their early lead, turning into more as the Dufuf comes back bot.
Yeah, once again, this spray and pray here is doing so much damage. And it's just so hard to deal with. Oh my gosh. Okay, Cadius wants in on this. That's going to be the tidal wave coming across. Izzard is going to be the one picking up the kill there. And that's another kill in this bottom lane.
Yep. They're keeping the pressure on. They're not allowing it to get anywhere else, as Asher Cross now needs to play around the fact that, hey, I don't have a jungler. They know I don't have a jungler. But here comes Swain to give a little bit of assistance. And with that, yeah, okay, Asher Cross... If they had waited just an extra second on that, they may have gotten actually a kill on Asher Cross as well as that tower.
Okay, so now let's see what they're looking for here. Asher Cross looking to take down Shelly here, but Got You trying to defend as best they can. Ooh,
good dash.
Great Glacial Prison there, but the dash is just going to put them outside range here. Shelly does get the dash on to, or does get the crash onto the second turret there. So that, once again, that damage is permanent. So...
Swain just took like 3 of the tiny krugs, which are where a lot of the gold is.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm laughing about. He put the vision of
okay. I was like, did I miss something? What happened? What happened? What did I miss? Was it important?
You just losing about 39 gold there off of the fact that you just had the krugs in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Right. So just keep in mind that damage onto that turret up in the top lane is permanent. So that is going to stay for the rest of the game until that turret is taken. So that is the best case scenario for any Shelly, being able to take down the first turret and then charge onto the second. So a decent chunk of gold in their pockets, but Top Shelf looking pretty good. 2,000 gold ahead is now they're looking to get Got You here, as let's see if they're able to do so. Half HP now, popping the Swain ultimate now. Got You's taken incredibly low with no support ref from the team. Cadius is going to be the one picking up the kill on the Sejuani.
Yeah, I mean, still Got You stayed alive a really long time there. Just did not have a flash, did not have a team to help out. And that is just going to be another kill going over. 4-1 on this Lee Sin. I think that's not exactly what you want. Modest ahead. Okay, Chenault going to be used early on that Swain just because of that tower. This is
Dufuf maybe a little
sketchy.
Too far forward here. Alrighty, they're going to back away just to reset from the red team here. But this a little bit of sloppy play does give some breathing room to Mythic here.
Yeah, a little bit. Mythic gonna have a little bit of time here to kind of get their feet back under them. And they're not out of this yet. Remember, they do have some good scaling. They have this Lux that's been farming. You look at the top and mid lanes here, they've been farming better. So they do have a little bit of an advantage in that sense, but it's going to just take them actually grouping and fighting and making sure that they play around where Twitch is and where Twitch can be. Because if they do not and Twitch shows up at the wrong spot, you are just getting obliterated.
yeah, like that's going to be a big shutdown onto Lux here. Is now they're looking to turn this around here. WCAT still trying to get away, but does have that reset here. They're still looking for a little bit more. Modest Dryad doing a whole bunch of damage to the blue team here. Is now they're continuing to turn it around. Great snare here. These red HP bars are still pretty low, but the blue team don't really have a good introduction into this fight. They're able to grab the Rift Herald. They're able to get a kill for themselves, but it's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Modest Dryad.
buddy
Yeah,
got
maybe
pal.
biting off a little bit more than they could chew. Yep.
That dude just choked.
Yeah.
He bit off to more than he could chew, and he just choked on that. WCAT.
Yeah, is now a Doofoof. Okay. Gonna be able to do it. Gets the 5 stacks.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I thought
it
he
was
was
really
dead.
close, but I don't think that they died. They died to that. The shield is gonna keep them alive for just a little bit longer. Oh, that was really close.
I thought that Adufuf stopped to auto while still in Tower Rage.
Oops.
I thought for sure that was actually going to be a Twitch death there. But that's a nice pickup on the end there. This Lux has been a really good pick for WCAT and has then ended up with a couple of extra kills. Swain obviously did really well in that last team fight, but Swain relies on that ultimate, so not having that in that 1v1 scenario meant that it was an easy pickoff. As we are looking here, Sejuani has the teleport, does not exactly want to try and come down to this, but maybe we'll see it.
Oh, WCAT picks up another kill here and puts another stack onto that ring here. Is now okay. He does the teleport from Sejuani. Yeah, this is going to be tough. It's a 4v5, and this is an objective bounty on the line as well. Doofoof is invisible right now. They're still looking for an introduction into this fight here. They're going to get a good damage from Lux here as Doofoof finally gets in here. Spray and pray coming across. They're going to be able to find one. Can they find more? Modest Dryad is going to be able to give them space in order to find two, but now WCAT finds a great snare here. They're still looking for more. Caddy is taking real low. Olazi is going to look and pick up the shutdown for themselves here. Oh, Lux ultimate is huge! WCAT is running away with this game with how many good ultimates they've been able to get off.
He's sprinting at Mach 5 right now with the game, pulling his team along in a tiny little wagon to get back into this game, because holy moly, that is the beginning of the fight, taking out the Nami. That is a good bind in the middle of that dragon fight to make sure that the Twitch could not follow up on any kind of kills as they got low. And in that disengage, they finally got the double bind again onto those last two members and blew them up. WCAT looks at home on this Lux, and it is being played to perfection.
Yeah, no, for real, like they're never really out of position. They've been landing these bindings like with great precision. They've been doing such a good job of just kind of like being exactly what you need Lux to be, right? Sniping someone out, or even just being very good at that CC game, right? This is very, very good Lux play here. And do you think this is a Medjai's Soul Stealer angle?
I always kind of dislike it when I see it because I think it's always too risky. Because because the way that it works is it snowballs bad, right? It's not just like okay, we kind of like lost some value on that. It's like, okay, well, I lost a lot of value on that. I'm now going to do less good in fights, which means I'm going to probably die again and lose even more value on it. So I don't generally like the Medjai's pickup. I think it's kind of cocky and not great. But we'll see what WCAT feels about this.
Okay, as that's going to be a good initiation from the red team here. Look at a Doofoof popping off. Holy moly, that's so much damage from the Twitch here. But immediate answer from WCAT is going to be able to turn it around. Can they salvage this fight? HP bars are still so low. That's going to be Stand United coming across from Modest Dryad here. He's still so low. He's got to get in. He's got to stay in this fight if he wants to keep that healing. Look at that. Modest Dryad heals up to half HP here. It is 3 for 2 in favor of Top Shelf.
Yeah, Top Shelf come out ahead, but I think at a little bit of a cost here. Twitch ends up falling once again here, and that is not what you want to see. WCAT still picking up money, and that was still a shutdown there. 150 extra gold going to that Lux, and now WCAT is just gonna watch as his team unfortunately cannot hold on to that tower. But overall, like it was a 3-for-2. Still
Yeah.
a win for Top Shelf, but do not discount the fact that there is still comebacks happening on the side of Mythic. They are still in this, and they are trading effectively now. Remember when they were just losing fights outright? This time, they're trading 2 for 3. They're slowly clawing their way back in, and they're doing it by catching out the people exactly needed to be taken out. A Doofoof immediately obliterated to take it out of the game, and that is what needs to happen continually to keep themselves relevant in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough if this continues to go in this direction, because now the gold lead is really only 1,000 between these two teams. That's nothing at this stage of the game. That is very little difference between these two teams here, and this Lux continues to get more and more powerful. If WCAP feels like it's a good buy, they're going to buy this Morellonomicon, and man, with this Horizon focus as well, like there's just so much damage that you just can't ignore.
Yeah, this becomes a problem specifically too because of how low cooldown that Lux ultimate is. We've seen it now in, twice in one fight pretty easily. And that becomes a problem as these fights continue to shake themselves out. Lux getting a pick and obliterating somebody. Here it comes.
Yeah, that's going to be already a good ultimate onto a Doofoof here. Asher Cross came across with a Stand United here, but now the Twitch has to run for their life. Asher Cross might be caught in the crossfire here as Cadius here comes in from the side. A Doofoof looking to turn this around as best they can. Might be able to find the kill on the Master Roshi here, but here come the front line here. Going to be able to take them down, and that's a huge member of the blue team already down. Lulu goes down in response, but I don't think that's an equal 1-for-1 trade here as WCAT is still alive. They're still looking for it. Lux ultimate is almost off of cooldown. One more time. Cadius goes down again, and that's going to be a 2. That's going to be a 3-for-1, and this time it's in favor of Mythic Fabled.
Where does this guy get these scopes for these snipes? Because they are disgusting here. WCAT has hit so many of these.
You found a purple one in a chest.
Yeah, honestly, that's a reference not everyone's going to get.
That's an Apex reference for you. That one's for you.
No, yeah, that one's for me, but I don't think we're entertaining me here.
Yeah, Modest Dryad here is going to be the one picking up the kills. Olazi now has to run for their life here. Gets a good slow, and now they're looking to pick up 2. Can they find more? But it looks like the blue team is already long gone. I don't think they can turn around to the Baron here, but they can. Oh, wait, they're going for it.
They're going for it. They got the Twitch on the way. Lee Sin will also be there, and that's not going to be in time there for WCAT to try and make a snipe because the Doofoof is going to shred this one fast. They do have some idea. Actually, they might try and take this. They might try and take this fight. 3v5 is not a good one.
Yeah, it might be a little awkward. Doofoof, you can't disrespect the amount of damage that Doofoof does here. WCAT goes golden here, throws out the ultimate. Doofoof is taken really low here. That shield is going to keep him alive for a little bit longer, but this might be the shutdown that they're looking for. They're trying to kite back as best they can, but they can't quite do it. Triple kill for Swain now. Modest Dryad is now the one you have to be scared of, as now they turn their eyes back onto the Baron.
They're not done.
But Mythic Fabled is not done yet. They still want to fight. Got You is here, and Olazi is making their way, but that's the exhaust. A Doofoof is coming through. Olazi is taking so much damage, they have to immediately flash away. Got You is going over the wall here, but can't approach because Nami Bubble is way too good. This is relentless to keep them off the Baron. They succeed, but now they're making their way over to Dragon.
Yeah, so now they don't get the Baron. They do push them off that Baron, but they do end up losing another Dragon. This puts Soul Point over to Top Shelf. And now the pressure is going to be on. Every Dragon needs to be responded to. And I was going to say before we got that TP in there, like, look at the difference between where Mythic are in terms of responding to objectives while they're behind compared to what we saw from Top Shelf last time and how long the game went because of that, right? There are times where just, that they're taking the objective and you really just can't try and contest it. It would take a miracle to win that fight, and a 3v5 is exactly that scenario when you only have, your Lux, your Wukong, and your Lulu. that's not going to give you a steal against 5 people. You have to recognize that and say, cool, all right, you're going to get the Baron, back away. Let's do something else with our time, because you are risking so much for so small of a chance at a reward.
Yeah, has now got you here. Might have caught out Master Yi, and they're waiting along the wings here. It looks like they're looking for some sort of initiation here, but can't quite find what they're looking for. So they're going to have to back away as the red team continues to make this seem like a Baron angle. Adam Lolo here might be caught out. Got you is going to Q charge in. They're looking for a Doofu, but Alazi already so much damage. That is a huge Lux ultimate across the team. Going to be able to find a Doofu here, but Modest Dryad one more time. That's going to be a really big damage dealer. They go golden. They have the Zhonya's Hourglass now. They're going to be able to live longer in this fight. WCat still looking for something to get this team in order to compel them forward. Madame Lolo goes in, looks for the combo. That's going to be a great Shen Dome to keep them alive for a little bit longer. They're not going to be able to find the kill, and that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Top Shelf.
I like the look there, but you gotta remember what you're up against. The Shen was ignored. They just said, Swain is low. I can kill Swain. All right, well, can you kill the people around Swain? Can you ignore them and make sure that the Swain dies in the process? No, you can't. And that is unfortunately why we do lose Madame Lolo at the end of that fight. But overall, that fight looked pretty solid from the side of Mythic. They did get the burst onto that Twitch. They took a Doofoof out immediately. But the problem is you've got nothing to take out the Swain. I really want to see Mythic just disengage from that fight. Okay, cool. You can fight, kill the Twitch, back out while the Swain ult is on. You are not going to kill Swain right now. You got him low, but with the Zhonyas, he will be able to reset himself and build his health bar back up in the process. You need to just disengage from Swain, and then when the Swain ult is down, that's when you can re-engage. That's when you can go for the fight again and almost assuredly win it if Twitch is not there.
Yeah, I mean, this is insanely strong here. This is so far being a very good showing, and I think the best thing here is that it's hard for target selection now. Modest Dryad is in a position where they are a very strong contender to be focused down here, but the problem is if you try to focus either a Doofoof or Modest Dryad in this fight, the other is going to be the one running away with the team fight. And so you have to be very careful about how you're running these team fights now, because you're either focusing out a Doofoof so that you can deal with an extended team fight, but the longer a fight goes, the better Modest Dryad becomes. So, you know, it's really getting about tighter and tighter execution here as WCat. Oh no, that's so much damage from the Twitch here. Olazi now has to run for their life here, as that is the quickest double kill in this entire series. Holy moly.
The power of Twitch is immense when he pops out and has that spray and pray. You get that, you get the Nami E on top of that and spread that across multiple people with Electrocute, with the Imperial Mandate. There is so much burst in this combo that a Doofoof can't be really managed unless you are getting those picks, unless you are grabbing out with that Lux laser beam and pulling a win from that. As the Baron will be started up now. They do have eyes on Madame Lolo. We are going to try and get him out of there and keep him out of this pit.
Yeah, Madame Lolo here looking to 1v1 Caduceus here, but that's going to be a Glacial Prison here, but it's on to Lee Sin. The damage dealers are still good. That's going to be the ult coming across. Great cleanse. Going to come across here as Tidal Wave. Going to knock Sejuani into the air. Doofoof looking to chase. Going to be able to find Lux here, and that's a big damage dealer out of the way. The red team is off of Baron, but they've killed 2 members of Mythic Esport here. So now they're going to have to run down this mid lane. I think they're just going to look for inhibitor turrets.
No, they're going to get their soul, as that has spawned in just 2 seconds here. That fight win was entirely predicated off of the fact that a Doofoof immediately QSS'd that bind from the Lux and got out of range of the Lux ultimate there. Now we are seeing Madame Lolo get pushed away off of that dragon. Now there's no W to get into the pit. You win that dragon soul, and you just end up having to deal with an even tankier Shen and Swain in this later game.
Yeah, not to mention the biggest. I think the best thing about this is that you're for one thing. Well, for one thing, you're getting the passive. You're getting the passive resistances, right? But the other thing is now you have to deal with basically a larger HP pool, pretty much for the rest of the game, right? Like you said, they're a lot tankier now. But even the Twitch has a much higher HP pool that you now need to fight through in order to get these kills that you're looking for. And if this whole win condition from Mythic Fabled here is burst out the Twitch and then be able to fight the rest of the team 4v5, then you're in for a really, really rough time because even a Doofoof has more HP that you have to deal with now.
Yeah, it's really difficult now. And I think it is cresting a point that is going to be hard to actually make work. It's just really all about the engage potential. Execution is the name of the game, and we haven't seen it come through. And there are things like the QSS, although that works, that does it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big player taken off the map, right? Imperial Mandate plus Electrocute plus Tide Caller's Blessing is a huge boon for their team, being able to slow multiple members. But now, if this is still a man advantage, but the carries are still not taken out yet, right? The support, great. You're able to find a man advantage for yourself, but that's all that is, right? Twitch is still able, it's not like Twitch is now completely disabled. They still have a lot to work through.
Yeah. They're not really going to be able to get anything out of it, but it is still what it does mean is that in the process, Top Shelf cannot get anything either. They really need that Nami to actually engage on the fights. So it's just going to be a little bit of stalling out, which I'm sure Mythic is actually going to be pretty happy with here to give the Sivir a little bit more time. She's very close to that Infinity Edge, and when that is built, that is going to be a lot more damage. Remember the Ricochet is based off of the first auto attack. The first auto attack for that Ricochet is a crit. All of the ricocheted hits are a crit as well. You get that extra damage, you get that extra crit chance. Boom, you are in business in team fights.
Yeah, for sure is. Now, we see another play for this Baron one more time. I like this call here. This is going to force Mythic Fable to come to you, right? And now with the Nami respawn as well, it's going to be the perfect time to do so. They've spotted out the enemy team with the sweeper. Still, no team looking to engage just yet.
A lot of back and forth here. Got you. Can be a front line, but you've got to keep eyes on where this Twitch is. A Doofoof coming around and then looking. Madame Lolo's got to be very careful.
Yeah, Madame Lolo's going to be in some trouble. There's going to be the spray and pray there. Ultimate comes across. Madame Lolo's taken low. A Doofoof is going to flash out of it. There's 2 kills already, and it's for the Twitch. Got You is going to be the next target, but a Doofoof on the top side here, forcing Sivir and Lux to flash. And Modest Dryad is just going to sit right next to the Sejuani for the next million years. And, you know, eventually the Sejuani is going to go down, and eventually is right now, as Modest Dryad is going to be the one becoming legendary. Dibicat does have that ultimate available if they can find a pick, but this looks like the end of the game. 5 members up, 2 members only available to defend. Okay, looks like it's not the end of the game just yet, but they are going to make their way one more time back to Baron.
Yeah, it's going to just be the disengage. I think this is smart. You can see that Master Roshi did already come back up. We have Madame Lolo very shortly. If you want to do the Baron, you should get there as the jungler is spawning to make sure that you can take that down before they can actually get there. So that will be picked up. Not even going to look for the snipe from the Lux there, as that is just used to clear out the wave. And once again, just a solid fight led off the back of a Doofoof. And then Modest Dryad following up behind to claim up the rest of the kills that the Twitch couldn't finish off.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a good play by Top Shelf here. I mean, this is going to free them up to just kind of split push however they want here. This looks like a really good team to 1-3-1, right? Swain is very powerful, hard to kill, right? And can't be 1v1 properly. And keep Lee Sin and Nami around Twitch, and that's enough of frontline and healing and, you know, and defensives that you can keep Twitch alive for a while. And Shen does have teleport, does have Stand United available, so this is a great time to 1-3-1 here, but it looks like they might be looking for a 4-1.
Yeah. They are just gonna keep this up for now. And I think that can be the right decision. I think really what they're just looking for is the possibility of once this Twitch gets here, they look aggressive at that point and then have the Shen TP in. Really the kind of question is, and oh man, Madam Lola, the thing that scares me is just seeing how much Mythic are splitting up right now. Because when you don't know where Twitch is, you can't be alone.
Yep. Madame Lolo is going to go down so quickly that I think I actually, oh, no, that was the clone. For a second, I saw Madame Lolo had died, but there was still a Wukong on the map. I didn't think that they had pressed W, and I was like, oh no, please no visual bugs now. Please, please, Spectator Client, have mercy. As now, they've got the Baron buff, and now they're going to have to fight for this Elder Drake, because of the Elder Drake and Baron, this is probably going to be the end of the game.
Yeah. Elder is so devastating, especially when you have things like the Swain and the Twitch with the burns that they have.
Oh, you mean like that? Oh, a Doofu does it again. Double kill on both members here. Lux is still looking to try to steal, but a Doofu goes invisible one more time. Still looking for the enemy team here. Actually finds them. He does find them here. WCat comes across with the ultimate here. Not going to be able to find it, as that's going to be one execute. Let's see if they'll be able to find the second, as now Madame Lolo here comes in. A Doofu once again changes targets. Going to pop that, and then, yeah, that magic damage shield is not going to save you from the Elder Drake execute here. Is now a Doofu looking for Olazi here. Slows them down. Ty Collar's Blessing is going to be the one helping them pick up the kill, and that's it. That's all she wrote, folks. That's going to be the game picked up by Top Shelf. In game number 1, they looked like Kirkland brand tequila, but now they're coming in with the Don Julio. They come in with the Patron, showing off that they are Top Shelf gamers.
How long were you sitting on that one? Oh my god. Okay. So that is now 1-1 for the day, as Top Shelf do pick up game 2. So we will be going to a game 3. All in all, I mean, I feel like Top Shelf just they felt better when they had something that had an aggression strategy. They wanted to be able to go in. They could play around a Doofu, who's obviously very comfortable on this Twitch, and they had Modest Dryad to then follow up if there was any stragglers afterwards. So they had a burst, they had a really strong pop-off assassin type, and they also had that long team fight style champion as well, and they made it work perfectly there. So I think Top Shelf really should look to do the same in game 2, or sorry, in game 3. They may end up getting that Twitch banned, but you can still do that with other champions, just not to the exact same degree.
Yeah, for sure. With that, we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 3 of Mythic Fabled versus Top Shelf. This is a lot more even than we thought after game number 1. You don't want to miss this game number 3. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari, and here we are. Game number 3. Top Shelf versus Mythic Fabled. This game has been a real barn burner. After game number 1, we thought Top Shelf was going to get 2-0 clean swept by how methodical Mythic Fabled had played the draft and had played their game. But Top Shelf flipped it on their heads, unexpectedly bringing out the Twitch Nami duo in the bot lane and being able to be super aggressive in the early game, landing them a victory in game number 2 as the game slowly catapulted them in the favor. But Mythic Fable didn't give up. They had a very strong mid laner in WCAT with the Lux popping off throughout the game, but it wasn't enough. Over and over again, Mythic Fable tried to stop them by streaming in people to stop them at larger objective, but this just fueled Top Shelf's fire more and more until they were able to clean out the game with Baron and Elder Drake. This is now game number 3, Top Shelf versus Mythic Fabled. We do finally have a side swap here. Top Shelf is going to be on the blue side. Mythic Fabled is on the red, and we are ready to get this picks and bans underway. 1000, are you ready?
I am ready. The teams are not. They have indicated they are not R in the chat, so we will be waiting just a little bit longer. But that is a-okay, as I think we can discuss a little bit here. You know, what worked in game 1 for Mythic Fabled, what didn't work in game 2, and vice versa here, because we saw, I think really the biggest thing has just been both teams are looking to try and play aggro early on. We had both teams opt into a later game composition and then not really hit that later game in a way that actually was impactful. So now I'm curious if we're going to get both teams leaning hard in on that early game and we're going to see who actually does it better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really, if both these teams are going to go in hard on the early game, you know, we have to see those bans on the Twitch one more time, right? That Twitch Nami lane was insane. Do you think we'll see the Nami ban as well from Mythic Fabled?
I don't think so. I don't think Nami was the inherent problem. I think the problem lied more with the Twitch.
Okay.
So I think really what we may see is, I think honestly, drop the Zeri ban and go for the Twitch ban instead.
Okay.
So far, both teams sticking with their bans. They have been all night. Remember, we basically saw all the bans in the first phase of banning were all just the same. So this time we'll see what changes. Looking like we might get a Swain ban, actually, of all things, as seems like Mythic are saying, you know what, the issue was not the Twitch, the issue was that we had to deal with somebody who could actually fight after the Twitch.
Right. And I think this is a fine ban as well. Like, once again, the Swain was really powerful. I think one of the things that we said was, like, the target selection is very hard in those late game team fights, but they still have one ban available. This could still be the Twitch, but it still leaves Zeri and Jinx available for Top Shelf to lock in here.
Yeah, so Volibear going to be the last one. Top Shelf banning their tried and true bans they've been doing all night. And this time around, will Mythic go for the Twitch ban? Looks like that is what is going to come through. So Top Shelf have to change their composition pretty drastically here, as their 2 carries have been taken away from them. What this does mean is that there is the Jinx, there is the Zeri available. Both of those 80 carries have not been available all night. Top Shelf now with an opportunity to first pick them if they want to take it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is going to be very good, but I think Top Shelf looking for the Sivir here. I think that's a very good lock-in. Sivir has been very powerful and highly valued by Mythic Fabled here. So this is going to force Mythic Fabled to be on a different AD carry here.
I mean, it's been highly valued by everybody. It's really good. It's first pick worthy, absolutely. I don't think teams want to ban it yet. I would not be surprised if in the near future we do see that start getting banned, because I think the power that it has and how quickly it hits late game status is kind of scary. So that is going to be that. And then the Misfortune alongside the Leona, possibly they're locked in. There we go. Mythic Fabled going for the tried and true classic, the old guard of the bot lane power I was gonna say power couple, but I was like, no, wait, hold on.
Hold
Leona,
on.
Leona's already got one. I shouldn't do
Leona
that.
is spoken for.
Yeah.
Leona
Ah,
is
damn.
spoken for, and Misfortune. I think I think the only relationship she has is to her boat. That's my best guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless, we're taking a trip all the way back to season 11 here with the Braum counter pick. We're gonna get the Misfortune Leona lock in as well. We're all going back to season 11 worlds, everybody. Next,
Oh my God.
all we need next is Kiana
Stop
Jungle.
stop saying like we're going back to season 11 like it's a long time ago, because that
Yeah,
is
I
gonna
mean,
throw me for a loop.
the
Holy
yield
God.
time of what is it, like 8 months ago?
Yeah, I
More than that.
don't know. It's
10
just like
months.
the fact that we could be like, oh yeah, these double digit seasons,
Yeah.
when they occurred, in the past, the time before now, and my
Yeah.
brain is just like, oh no,
Please cease.
God,
Please
time
cease.
passes and my bones break.
Yeah. Holy moly, yeah. I mean, this is looking pretty good here, but once again, Mythic Fabled sticking to the Sejuani. All 3 picks here is going to the Sejuani.
Yeah, so now once again, still can be flexed.
Mhm.
Obviously has been pretty much just top lane the entire time, but has the possibility of being flexed top shelf this time though, taking that Viego. Remember, it was Mythic Fabled that had the Viego last time, and now they will have the Viego themselves. This is actually a really solid pairing with that Braum. So right now, the 2 that they have picked here, Sivir and Viego, great pairings with Braum. Sivir gets that attack speed from the W. Viego gets the passive, and that is a double hit as well. So Braum is going to be really great here if he can land a Q, if he can get a passive started on somebody. It is most likely going to be following through.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about Braum is Braum doesn't need to land the Q, right? Braum only needs to land the Q from far away. All Braum
Yep.
needs to do is basically just auto attack anyone. And with that shield, he's pretty free to kind of like walk around how he chooses in team fights, right? And basic execution of Braum, of like the direction of the shield, I'm not worried about, right? Like that's going to be I'm going to take a look at how how this Braum is going to be positioned in fights, less so about like basic execution. I'm not concerned with like, oh, does he know how to play this champion? I'm going a little too far into this, but Braum, like you said, only needs to get a passive started on someone, and all he needs to do is auto attack, and with the shield, that's going to be so easy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Now, once again, we see Mythic Fabled kind of on a little bit of the receiving end of the draft issue that we ran into last time, of they can't really pick their top laner because they need to be able to kind of respond if that Trundle does get picked up, and they will kind of know that that is a top lane Trundle. But right now, that is going to currently mean they have to lock in that Victor, go for that blind pick in the mid lane once again. And now Orianna, surprisingly, actually going to be locked in. Have not seen very much Orianna, although I always think she's good. Like,
Yeah.
Orianna's never a bad champion to pick, and especially when you have some kind of wombo combo, it's great. Top Shelf not running that this time around, but they do still have that bonus. There's a lot of move speed bonuses that they're giving to somebody like this Viego or this Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be definitely an interesting game for sure. I'm not sure how I feel about the Mordekaiser lock in here, but with how much Mythic Fabled is putting into the Misfortune, just taking one of these characters off the board to make Misfortune like have even a little bit of a harder time to deal with, Viego and Braum being an orb delivery service for Orianna is very, very good here. As Vi is going to be the final lock-in
Huh.
for Mythic Fable.
Okay.
That's a character we haven't seen almost ever.
So it's been seeing some pickups in stuff like Proving Grounds.
Uh-huh.
It's been seeing a little bit of action. It is going to be the jungle Vi, so that is not going to be laning Vi. That is going to be in that jungle area up against that Mordekaiser. I will be entirely honest in that I don't know why it is popping up as much as of late. I don't think there were any major changes to her that gave her any kind of extra power. But she still does what she's always done, and that is lock a single person down and completely make sure that she gets to them every single time. So she still has a use. She still has something that she does that is very prominent and people want to get a hold of on their team. And when you have something like Leona, Vi, Misfortune, there's a lot of lockdown to keep people in those damage over time ults with the Misfortune and Victor.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but the big thing for me is that these are kind of snowbally like champions that Mythic Fabled have drafted here. Victor, Misfortune, Sejuani, even Vi in a way as well is just this whole team. Once they get ahead, they're nearly unstoppable. But if they fall behind, they're up against a Viego. They're up against a Sivir, right? Like, this is going to be a team that's going to be hard to come back from once they have all the lockdown, once they have their ways of dealing with Misfortune, right? There's a lot of things going for top shelf right now, right? Both of these teams are kind of looking as like, okay, we're going to get ahead and we're going to get ahead again. And we're going to.
Yeah, so now, as the picks go through here, we're going to have to keep our eyes open because, yeah, like you said, and like we've talked about, the early game pressure of Viego Vi and how much these champions can just go nuts when they get an opportunity to is high, right? You have so much gank presence and so much turnaround skirmishing presence in both of these champions that you really have to be ahead of the game where the enemy jungler is and make sure you're tracking that well. Orianna, Victor, they're going to both look at a scale. You look at the bot lane. MF Leona is going to look to engage a lot, and Braum Sivir just wants to farm up, stay back, and keep themselves alive. If I'm Vi, I'm probably looking to help that bot lane get ahead and get on Sivir and Braum as much as possible. Viego, on the other hand, probably going to look to do the same thing on that top side with that Mordekaiser into the Sejuani. That damage over time, the percent health on that passive, Mordekaiser will feel pretty solid into that Sejuani pickup, and getting him a lead means Sejuani never really has to or has a chance to actually go toe-to-toe with him.
Yeah, not to mention if Mordekaiser is able to take out Sejuani from these fights and then get the kill, not only are you coming back with a man advantage, but the man advantage turns from 5v4 to 6v4, right? Like, if Sejuani is building so tanky that Mordekaiser can just stroll through the enemy team, will be able to just stroll through the enemy team with all of those resistances, all of that HP on top of the damage that they've built as well. Right? There's a lot of warning signals in both of these teams here that you have to be very, very careful how you play this early game, because even if one member pops off, we've seen how Top Shelf plays when they're ahead and they have a hyper carry. They play really, really well, right? And this is already a lot of warning signs should be going off for Mythic Fabled here, and the same for Top Shelf.
Absolutely here, as now we kind of just have to wait and see. Now, we do take a look just a little bit at the scaling presence here, and Sivir Orianna late game is very good, but I think MF and Victor are not to be trifled with. It feels like both these teams are running pretty similar things, just the difference being the early presence is a little bit stronger on that top side versus on the bot side for Mythic Fabled. So, Top Shelf really going to try and get this Mordekaiser ahead. If Mordekaiser gets big and then shows up to team fights, pulls away that Vi, pulls away somebody else, steals their stats, and comes out 10 times stronger than he ever was going in, that's a problem Mythic Fabled don't really have a great way to address, because they don't have the damage to actually burn him down. And these carries are not going to kite him. They're not going to keep out of his reach. He's going to be able to run them down with the extra tenacity that he will most likely get through his runes and his item choices.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of the final game of the evening. Top Shelf versus Mythic Fabled. Everything rides on this game here. It is going to be very close, and we'll have to see who comes out on top. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and here we are on the Rift of game number 3. Excuse me, of Top Shelf. Oh, excuse me one more time as I continue to hiccup. Of Top Shelf versus Mythic Fabled. We're seeing a little bit more of a defensive start from both these teams here as we get onto the Rift of game number 3 here. The winner takes home all of the marbles. And Thousand, are you ready?
I am ready. See a little bit of defensive stacking here from the side of Top Shelf as they are just going to hold on to their buff. Everybody kind of just waiting to see if anybody does anything else. But it's just going to be a pretty standard start, all things considered. I look up around here. Interestingly, I think it makes sense in the current game state, but it is kind of funny to me to see Mordekaiser, the offensive one in that lane, going for the Doran's shield, and then Sejuani going for the Doran's ring.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, all right, what if we made our champs the same with our starting items?
Yes, but what if it was purple? What if it was purple?
What?
Let's see it purple.
What if it was what?
Oh my god, Sejuani is purple. Okay, wait.
I was like, what?
Comedic genius. I didn't even know. I didn't even know Sejuani was purple. But you know, here we are. What if it was purple?
I sure guess that it would be. I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Yeah, what if it was purple? People, if you know, you know. You know.
I'm having a stroke. Holy God. All right, everybody kind of just getting a little footsie, playing a little footsie with each other right now, but overall, hey, there's the power of early game MF that makes me want to cry, makes me want to not play video games.
Yep.
Early game
Make it Rain plus Comet plus Doran's Ring is a very potent combination. And, you know, I think Asher Cross is doing a good job of also showing why early game Mordekaiser is also a pain to deal with, especially if you're someone like Sejuani.
Yeah, I think the best thing that you can do, as much as it sucks, is actually staying closer into that wave and trying to dodge out when Mordekaiser goes for those wave crash hits. There, luckily, Sejuani does actually have some pretty good wave clear and can keep the wave shoved pretty hard with the side. So specifically why we're seeing this is because Vi started bot side coming towards that top side. So Sejuani knows even if Viego does show up, unless it's a buff Gromp, mid lane getting a little funky.
Yeah, Caddy is here looking for W cap. Modest Dryad looking for something as well. Taking W cap real low here, but that potion is going to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Here comes Got You in from the side. They're looking for Modest Mouse.
Oh,
the flail isn't going to land, but the flash is good. Let's try to take it real low. Okay. Doesn't have that second end of the laser beam just yet. So Vi is just going to path her way down here. And they're going to look at this bottom lane because Dufoof here going to try to spell shield off the stun here. Going to be successful as now the stun is being charged by Gizzard. Vi looking for an intro here, but going to be able to back away. Is 2 failed ganks, but they're going to be able to grab summoner spells off of the mid and the bot here.
Yeah, so definitely keeping the side of Top Shelf on their heels and not allowing them to get really much of a good early start. Got You already also just fighting really well into this Mordekaiser. The passive, or not the passive, I don't know. The active on the E is really strong for Sejuani. And if you give her the opportunity to hit that and just kind of trade with you in that, she is going to win that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, for sure. Here is now Gizzard and Cadius here looking for the engage here. Not going to be able to land the stun just yet, but they're looking to come through with the concussive blows here. Good shield here as Dufoof is going to get Dava by Master Roshi here. Actually taking them pretty low here. Master Roshi might be able to find it, but First Blood is going to be picked up by Sivir. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, that's going to be Madame Lolo picking up the kill in that mid lane there. So it's a 1-for-1 across the map here, but they do pick up a kill for them. They do pick up First Blood in the bottom lane. So a little bit more of an advantage as Vi shows up one more time in the bottom lane here, but can't quite engage just.
Yeah, we have not seen a Vi gank as of yet really turn into much outside of obviously the kill gained from that mid lane, but we have not seen a like active start of the gank from Lolo that has worked. But meanwhile, KDS doing a great job with that Viego and getting a good start. I did actually like Master Roshi flashing in specifically because it was like, all right, I'm gonna die. There is no world in which I don't die here, but I can trade my flash for the AD carries flash, and that's generally a win. So in the process, trading those summoners, kind of a nice little bit of aggression and not just going down without a fight.
Yeah, for sure. As we still have more trading up into this top lane here. Directed Camera, once again, is a top lane main, just in case anyone was curious. Directed Camera loves going up into the top lane and watching two big, beefy boys wail on each other over and over.
Yep. I mean, hey, why not? It's not even beefy boys. It is a beefy boar, and
beefy boar, yeah.
Beefy boar and a man question mark made of metal.
Yeah, he's a ghost. He's a dead guy in a suit of armor.
Yeah, so it's like they're not like one of them is not even beefy, the other is not a man, like decidedly.
Yes.
I feel like I'm being lied to.
No. You're right. You can't be beefy if you're a ghost. You can be like, I don't know, ghostly beefy, but that's not really the same.
Yeah.
Beefy implies you've got a lot of flesh on you or something.
Yeah, beefy explicitly generally means flesh. So
yeah, but here we go. Madame Lola looking for a Dryad here. Going to be an easy 1-2 punch. The shield's on them. Going to stay a little bit longer, but WCat is going to be the one picking up the kill in the mid lane.
WCat pulls out ahead there. And once again, we see WCat with a nice start here. I was a little concerned. Game 1 didn't go their way. And this time around, Game 2 was great. Game 3, looking to start more of the same against Modest Dryad, seemingly having their number. You can look at the farm differential here in that mid lane, and it is terrifying here as Victor's going to come back with a lost chapter. The Orianna's still just sitting on a tier and an amp tome. That is a major difference in that mid lane, and that is kind of a mid lane where whoever gets ahead has an opportunity to stay ahead really hard because they just snowball pretty quickly with a lead.
Yeah, like this Victor is going to start upgrading those abilities, and it's going to be very hard to deal with him just on that base damage alone, right? Not to mention that he's going to have now this Dark Seal starting to stack as well, as once again, Madame Lola wastes no time here coming into the mid lane. Modest Dryad going to use that ultimate to try to stay alive, but that's going to be the Assault and Battery coming through here. So Madame Lola trying to flash away. They're trying to look for a 1-for-1 here, trying to do as best they can, pull them back in. Gizzard's going to be the one picking up the kill there as they're going to grab the reset onto Vi. Going to back away, but they're going to take this opportunity looking for a kill into the bot lane here. A Dufuf is going to be able to get away. Don't have that ultimate from Leona just yet. So they're just going to do a little bit of damage. Back away.
Yeah, the Ignite burned. I think Master Rishi thought there'd be a little bit more follow-up there from Alazi, and did not get it. Vi getting a second kill, which is nice, but still at the cost there of... actually, Braum picked that kill up. That is not ideal.
Not ideal.
Very, very much the worst possibility there.
Yeah, but I mean, Braum doesn't really need items in order to be taken. Dufuf went a little bit too far forward, but great shield from Gizzard here is going to block up the damage here. Oh man, that was very too close. Really too close there.
Yeah.
Asher Cross here pulls them into the Shadow Realm. Yami no Gemu looking for Got You here. They're really only going to do a little bit of damage, looking to fight back and forth. Not going to be able to grab the star chips this time, but might be able to force them out of lane. That's going to be the Glacial Prison coming across. No. Madame Lolo looking for the kill, and Asher Cross here does not have that flash available. Not going to find the knockup, but can they find something? The shield is coming through, but WCat is coming up from the mid lane here. WCat is going to get another kill underneath their belt here as Viego tries to make something happen in the bot lane here, but can't quite find the intro they're looking for. It looks like they're just going to clear out the wave here, make their way towards Drake.
It's an easy dragon pickup, but yeah, still a loss of that up at the top side is you do lose the Mordekaiser. And I like specifically that they give this over to the Victor, so Victor does get the kill. We did already see the Death Ray already evolved, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, we are 6 stacks away from getting the Q evolve next here from the Victor. So Victor going to be very, very scary strong in the next couple of minutes. And WCat is...
Oh, yeah, this might be the shutdown that they're looking for here. Hopefully Gizzard doesn't pick up the kill this time. That's going to be the Command Shockwave coming across, and that's the shutdown going on to Viego here and grabs the reset as well. So this is a really good chunk amount of gold. Good chunk of gold going into the blue team's pocket, narrowing out that gold lead to just about 200 apiece.
Yeah, so now things get a little bit interesting there because Viego does pick that one up, gets the kill, and gets the bonus bounty. And now we see, all right, what does Viego do with this kill? Because he can get kind of nutty with an extra little bit of gold and start popping off. Will that be the case? Is that what we're going to see? Or is it going to be just a little bit of a boon for some upcoming skirmishes? I think the biggest thing there, though, is the fact that WCAT did not need to give that kill in the slightest. I don't really know what the plan was there, other than maybe just poke a little bit with some death ray, and that ends up costing WCAT not only a kill and a bunch of gold going over to Viego, but also the teleport to get back into lane and make sure that the wave does not get all messed up when he does leave.
For sure is. Now we take stock at where we're at, 11-13 into this game, and this is probably the slowest we've seen the game out of these two teams so far. 3 to 4 kills, 17 points, and only 200 gold separates these two teams, and no one has quite grabbed a tower just yet either, as Asher Cross might be in some trouble here. Godyu is actually devoting a whole lot to this. They're 1v1 here, but Godyu is so far ahead in this fight. That's going to be the tail end. Glacial Prison comes across, and Godyu just 1v1 Mordekaiser.
The Dwani damage. This is why she's a top laner right now. Her ability to trade with anybody who does build a lot of health is very, very good. And you can see why. You can see also why the Ignite is taken up, because you just stay really tanky and you don't need the flash.
Ooh, yeah, Modest Dryad here is going to be in some trouble, but Lolo stunned up underneath the turret here is going to be able to be taken down as Cadius picks up the kill here. No, WCAT stayed underneath turret for a little too long here, but they're looking for the stun and can't quite find it. That's going to be the Glacial Fisher coming across here and looking for a little bit more. Going to be able to find it. Cadius is on a killing spree now, and now they're looking for Master Roshi. The slow is good, and this might be all they need in order to catch up. That's going to be the Heartbreaker getting closer here. They're going to pick up another kill, but it goes over to a Dufuf as they pick up a third kill and a long chain of fights. That's 3-0, and 2 of them went to Viego.
Yeah, that is maybe a sign of the times changing, as Viego does pick up the 2 kills, has the Blade of the Ruin King completed. We'll go back with some extra cash there to start working on some more items. And now Sivir getting those kills as well helps out a lot, because now she's going to be able to go back, get that Mythic completed. And now the late game scaling Sivir will start to become at least something to discuss as time goes on. Maybe a little too far, though.
Yeah, Glizzard and Cadius might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew, and now Gizzard is in a little bit of trouble here. They're trying to get away. They're going to be able to jump to Sivir here, but can they find the re-engage? That's going to be the fist. That's going to be the bullet time, and they're able to find the shutdown onto Sivir. That's 2 for 0, and they defend their turret as well. It's going to stay healthy for a little bit longer, but luckily for the blue team, the Dragon is not up just yet, but this game is still very even.
It's very even, and it's kind of coming off the back of some aggressive dives we've seen throughout this series, that it has been aggro that has won the day for a lot of these teams in game 1 and game 2. This time, kind of getting punished a little bit here, because it's not against a late game scaling team as much as it is against a team that has some early game presence and can be a threat. So now diving is a little bit scarier, because it's not just like, oh, well, they're really weak and we're really strong right now. It's a little bit more complex than that, and these teams are kind of paying the price because they are just not really paying attention to that and end up dying for their sins.
Yeah, and now we're going to take a look at what probably will be the first 5v5 fight of the game here as we get closer to this dragon spawning in about 8 seconds here. Both teams have vision around the pit. Both teams have been dragon stacking or putting value on the dragon in these past few games here, and Cadius definitely does not want to give up this second Drake to put them on soul point here, as the red team ready to answer. That's going to be the assault battery coming through here. Caddy is taking incredibly low, going to dash over the wall. Madame Lolo is going to be the one to go down first here. Zolazi in a bit of trouble as that both the bottom lane flashing over the wall in order to pick up the kill. That's 1 for 1 so far. Here comes Asher Cross into the fight here. Great shockwave to pull them in. Even better hand to pull them back in, but it continues to be even. 2 for 2 in this fight. Glacial Prison comes across. Lolo goes over the wall, and now it's Mythic retreating. Master Roshi taken low, and now it's 4 for 3. Make that 5 as it's a double kill. 3 overall for a Dufoof here, and they're making their way towards the Drake, but their HP bars are low, and Lolo wants to fight. They're going in. Flash, Spell Shield, turn it around. Concussive Blows gets the block here, but Madame Lolo now has to turn it around and get out of there as they are peeling backwards. It's a huge, still really close game between these two teams here.
It's constant back and forth. I was kind of wondering how that was going to work out with Alazi going down and then ending up with the MF kind of, MF has not gotten a kill. MF is not really that far ahead at all. And now we see that it is just kind of a problem. They don't have that DPS. Sivir is very strong now, 5-1 on this champion. And this means that accelerated late game is going to come up very shortly. Sivir will always have the opportunity to push R, run people down, and keep the aggression on the enemy team. That is something that needs to be accounted for and something that needs to be they need to be aware of it on the opposite side, because if Mythic are not respecting that, you're just going to constantly get jumped on by this Sivir comp, and you're going to constantly lose. You're going to continue to fall behind. So now comes the question of, are you warding defensively? Are you making sure that you know where a Dufoof is? And are you making sure that you don't put yourself in a situation where even if they do get that speed up, are they going to jump on us and take us down? It's really scary right now to play against something like this Fed Sivir.
Yeah, for sure. As now we're taking a look at where we're at in the red team. Once again, Madame Lolo has been doing such a good job of valuing this Rift Herald very high. This is the second Rift Herald of the game, and both of them have gone over to the red team here. But the turret goes down on the blue side for the blue team here as the red team is making their push on to the mid side.
Yeah, looking like we're getting a little bit of base racy, but I think I will favor the team that has the Rift Herald.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd take that bet as well. I think the Rift Herald is going to be able to give them just a little bit of an edge here. They end up not being able to grab the turret, but there's still significantly more damage on this. Oh, you get it. Okay, Winions. Winions pretty good. All right. They grabbed 2 turrets off of that. And once again, this game is tied up one more time.
Yeah, so now it's just back to where we were. But I think the biggest thing still is the fact that you have a Viego with a good chunk of kills, and you have a Sivir with a good chunk of kills. Look at the kill distribution on the opposite side here, and it is not as great. You have 4 kills on that Vi, which is okay-ish if Vi was really hard carrying these fights. This is what's happening to Vi.
Yeah, Vi getting caught out here is a big chunk of gold going over to Sivir now, and you can't let this happen. This is so strong, and now they're going to have to deal with a Sivir who's going to be even more powerful by the time she backs, not to mention that she's already very powerful. WCat, look at how much damage she just took. They just took from 1 Sivir boomerang and a bit of damage from Orianna. Now, Chaos Storm comes across. They're looking to clear out this wave a little bit, maybe deal some damage here as Gizzard is going to be in the front here, blocking as best they can. They're just trying to reset as best as here. They don't have enough ultimates, but here comes the re-engage. That's going to be going forward. Gaps the stun as well, but Cadius comes through. Great shield from Ram is going to keep them alive for a little bit longer, but Cadius is still alive here. Going to get the reset onto Sejuani. Flashing forward. WCat taking incredibly low. Heartbreaker is going to come across. They're exhausted now. Can they get the reset? That's an absolute yes. Double kill for Viego now. Make that triple. Can they find more? It's the last kill available, and they pick up the kill, losing their AD carry in the process, but they clean sweep the entire enemy team.
I think that was about as clean a fight as you could really ask, considering the current state of the game. What a great dive. Consider that they only lost 1 person while almost in that entire fight being a dive under the tower. That is so very good. And yeah, they took it. It was a 4v5. The tower trying to be a fifth person. By the time Lolo showed up, went on to the other people in that fight rather than confirming the kill on the Viego. And unfortunately, that meant Viego had the time to get over to those souls, get a reset, get a little bit of extra health. And you get that twice, and now you're back up to about a third health. You're not really within an easy kill range. Sometimes it's better to just confirm those kills, make sure that you pick those up. And now all of a sudden, you know, we talked about how the game was close, the game was even. Now there is a solid gold lead of about 2,500 gold in favor of Top Shelf here.
Yeah, we were talking about it now. Yeah, you're right. 2.6 thousand gold separates these two teams now, and with Dragon spawning in less than a minute here, and Top Shelf already doing a great job of clearing out this vision here, they're going to have a clear advantage coming into this fight. Kraken Slayer is now finished on Sivir as well. This is now going to be a big point for the red team to be worried about, because Misfortune nowhere near where she should be right now. Only 81 stacks on the Manamune. It's going to be a long time before it's even close to a Muramana.
It's going to be a good long while, and I think by the time that really hits, it's not even really going to be a power spike, right? Like it's basically going to be like, okay, well, we're already behind. This kind of brings me in line. You know, a lot of times when an MF is ahead, you get that Muramana. It is terrifying. There is so much damage built into that thing. At this point, it'll be a nice spike, but it's not going to be the obscene power boost that it can be when you're ahead.
I like this play by Mythic here, but it looks like it's going to be interrupted here. Cadius dives in here. Lolo looking for a doofoof here. Good pull from Mordekaiser, and then pulling Lolo into the Shadow Realm here. Flashing over the wall. They're still going to be able to live, as that's a great shockwave from Orianna. That's going to be re-entering Lolo once again, looking for a doofoof. Still can't quite find it as two members of the enemy team go down. It's 2-0 in favor of a Top Shelf, and now they get to make their way over to Drake.
So yeah, I mean, what is there to say? Power is in the side of Top Shelf right now, and they are going to win these team fights. The Braum shields have been on point, blocking the important abilities, and it has been Top Shelf all the way. They get a third Dragon Soul point, and now, you know, both teams looking for an early lead. One team has actually gotten it, as kind of is the nature of a game that's kind of two teams fighting each other. But when one team gets it, it becomes really difficult to then turn that back around when both teams are looking to do the same thing. Compositions that are very similar kind of have a little bit of a really hard snowball effect, because, well, if you're both looking to do the same thing and one team is just stronger, you don't really have a second option. You don't have other opportunities. You're both going to do the same thing, and one of you is going to do it better.
Yeah, now Gizzard here finding out Master Roshi. Lolo on the backside here, not going to be able to save their support here. Looking for a little bit to waste their time, but not going to be able to stop them this time, as now the red team looking to defend their turrets here. Gizzard looking for a little bit more, can't quite find it. Bullet Time comes across here, but it's not going to be able to stop them. Glacial Prison comes across, but that's going to be the re-engage. Godyu taken low here, but look at Olazi's HP bar just being eliminated, as Viego is going to go down 2 for 1 so far, as that's going to be the Chaos Storm coming across now. They might look to re-engage now that such a big player is out of the way, but they can't quite find an intro into this fight. They're still staying mid lane though, so they still kind of want to fight. Asher Cross is going to pull WCat in, but still, both teams still not quite finding an initiation they're looking for.
Yeah, so now a little bit of a win, a small win that we do see for Top Shelf. But they are, you know, Mythic still do trade 1-for-1. Not the end of the world, but it is a 1-for-1 where they do still kind of have pressure coming towards them. They still have pressure on their tower, and they're not really making a lot of leaps here to overcome that gap that we just talked about of being kind of just a lesser version of the other team right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you have to look at what your composition can do differently that the other team can't do, and maybe play to those strengths. I think what they do have is they do have pick potential. They have some burst in that Victor and the Vi, Sejuani, Leona. There's a lot of ability to catch people out of position. I don't think a team fight is really where this team is going to shine, at least until they catch back up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these full five team fights are not going to be in their favor, like you said. Like, this is two kind of snowbally team comps here, and if one team is already winning, like you said, if these two teams are similar and one team is just doing your job but better, then they're going to be ahead. And now we see kind of the fruits of that is now Misfortune struggling to get back into the game here, even behind on the Muramana stacking. So, you know, still into this game, 25 minutes in, we're looking at only a little bit more than half the stacks on that Muramana, which is a really important power spike for this Misfortune. Not to mention that Braum is already blocking all of her damages. Now, might be able to find something. Okay, immediately leaving.
Yeah, there wasn't really much to gain from that. It was Viego and Braum. Neither one of those really going to look to go super deep. It was more looking for those squishy members to hop around.
Yeah, as now, once again, we're getting a little footsie, like you said before, back and forth. Don't want to hit people with that low kick, right? Comes out real quick. The frame data is great. You don't want to be caught by that because it leads into a bunch of other stuff here. Is now both teams once again looking for. Well, we have some cheeky flanks coming out from Got You here, and Madame Lolo looks like immediate response here by the blue team. Still not able. Okay, they might have found out Viego here. It's going to take a while for the blue team to collapse on this. This might have been what they're looking for, but they're going to pull the Sejuani into the Shadow Realm here. Oh no, they haven't used Death Realm just yet, but this is still a numbers advantage for Mythic Fabled here. They could look to fight here, but it looks like they're just going to shove in the mid-wave here.
Yeah, now the dragon is spawning. This does give Mythic a decent opportunity to try and set themselves up around it, but they've spent a lot of their ultimates. They can't really continue a fight.
Yeah, Madame Lolo is going to be able to be the next to fall here as Adufuf is trying to kite out this as best they can. These HP bars are still pretty low if they still want to fight, but it is a 5v3 right now. Viego has respawned, is making their way over to the Dragon Pit. The Dragon is spawning in 4 seconds, which still gives Viego some time to get here. If they want to fight, they need to do it now, but it looks like they've all the way peeled off of this fight.
I don't think there's really going to be an opportunity. Cadius going in, not getting it. Cadius
is
will fall.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that play right there. I think you just give up the Drake. You're not. It's not that big of a deal if you lose it. It delays your Dragon Soul by 5 minutes, but that was really greedy right there.
Very. I don't really think you needed to do that. I think you can get away with letting them have one. You don't need to beat people up because they get a little bit of something.
Yes.
Sometimes
Important
people can
life
have
lesson.
things. Yeah.
Important life lesson for everyone out there.
Don't beat people up because they have a little bit of something.
Yeah.
You can get some too later on.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly correct. As now, we're taking a little look here as now we're about 28 minutes in, and it seems the next big item on the docket on the shopping list is gonna be this Baron right here, as Cadius is looking a little too out of position here, and we know how that one goes, especially with Madame Lolo there. Still, looks like Sivir might be backing here. That's a pretty big buy. Lord Dominic's is huge right here.
Lord Dominic's is massive, and it's also just like we are hitting like optimal Sivir points right now of late game Sivir. She is 5 items deep, and now we look at MF, who is 2.5.
Yeah.
Like, there is a huge difference between these 80 carries right now, and not only that, but MF gets every single bullet time blocked. So it's not only that MF is behind, but MF is also not providing anything, because it's just always going to be blocked every single time by Gizzard, because we have seen it every single fight. There's not been a bullet time that has been able to get through without getting blocked.
Yeah, for sure. Is now we're taking a look at the teams here, and they're definitely looking for some way to engage this fight. Baron is on the docket for the blue team here. This is a great way for them to gain a huge advantage, right, and secure a much larger lead. And still, both these teams still rather anxious to try to get into this pit, because the blue team is doing a good job of respecting the amount of damage that Mythic has here, but he might be playing just a little too scared here. Is now Olo looking for the kill onto a doof here. Be able to find the lockdown. That's going to be the cease and desist as well. That's a good shield to keep them alive for a little bit longer, but Sejuani is going to be the one finding the kill here. As now Gizzard is going to be the next target. Viego diving onto the back outside here, looking for W cap. Might be able to find it. Goes golden, which means Cadius is out as SOL. As now Asher Cross does have that ultimate available, but is the only frontliner left for the team. He's going to pull Got You into the Shadow Realm here. Yami no Gemu. It's a Shadow Realm duel. Can they find the kill? It's so close. They're not going to be able to get the stats this time. So that's really, really well timed by the Sejuani here, as we have a teleport in from WCAT, who is healed back up and about back in the fight. A shutdown now for the victor as well. They're catapulted their way into a decent chunk of gold. A really great win. And now they can make their way over to Baron.
Yeah, this is now all of a sudden a little bit of wind in the sails for Mythic there. They finally get the fight they were looking for off of greed once again from top shelf. The Viego diving super deep, not respecting the stopwatch, not respecting how hard it would be to actually kill, using all those cooldowns just to travel distance and then not having the damage, expecting then to get the kill and try and reset off of that. Victor did not die, and Viego ends up just falling in the process. And now a little bit of a stumble here from top shelf as they try and reset and get these towers down.
Yeah, they're going to be able to find one here, and that's a decent pickup for them. Once again, it still keeps them in the lead here. Even though they got a big win in that last team fight, the top shelf is still in the lead in terms of gold, in terms of Drakes, and they're tied up in dragons here. So there is still a lead for the blue team here. Don't count them out just yet. Is Madame Lolo going to be immediately CC'd here? Great chain, as that's going to be a teleport coming across from Mordekaiser here, as now the entire gang is here. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, everyone is here. Heartbreaker over the wall. Cadius is looking for Victor, not going to be able to find it, so it retreats back to the team, as now Misfortune, Sejuani, and Leona are making their way down towards the pit. But they have to be careful. Does have the ultimate available, but shield is also up for Braum, but a lot of ultimates have been spent already. That's going to be the go button here, maybe. So they're still trying to back away. That's the Chaos Storm coming across. Not going to find a whole lot of damage here.
Yeah, they're starting to fight. Remember, this is the Ocean Dragon Soul. If Cadius can lock this in for the team, that's a major win. Oh my gosh.
Great Shockwave. Great pull from the Mordekaiser as well. It's an amazing 1-2 punch. And Sivir on the back end of this as well is also going to find a great kill. Asher Cross going to be able to find the stats onto Sejuani as well, winning the Shadow game, gaining themselves a Millennium item, and continuing to wreak havoc for ancient Egypt.
And that will mean the Baron as well. So not only are we dealing with an Ocean Soul, but a Baron at the same time. This finally, I think, is a win for top shelf. I don't see a world in which they can lose this. Asher Cross finds Madame Lolo.
Yeah, Lolo's still looking for a way to try to steal this Baron here. Still trying to do it, but a Doofoof over the wall is going to be the one picking up the kill and going on a rampage. 13. Oh, 1337. Let's go. 1337 stat line. Let's go. That's an ancient meme right there. Let's go.
Oh my god. That is to the point where I just don't want to look back that far, because there's too many aspects of that time that I do not want to associate with anymore.
Well, like Dr. Octagonopus?
No, just like a lot of things I look back and I'm like, wow, life was weird. The things we found funny then, like, kind of sucked.
I'm a charge in my laser.
Yeah, like that.
God. That's 20 years old now. Do you feel old? Do you
I
feel old?
don't
Do you feel
want to
old?
talk about this.
Are you
God.
old? Are you old? How old are you? Are you here? Show us a sign.
How old are you? Oh my
How
god.
old?
Watching GDQ,
Watching GDQ is great.
where
If
they
you,
just constantly were saying that.
yeah,
It
it's
was
if you
just
ever want to treat, watch Phasmophobia, but don't actually watch the gameplay. Just listen to them talking because that is really funny. Um, Meanwhile, Baron is being shoved into this mid wave here, but Got You is waiting for a getcha moment here, maybe with that Sejuani ultimate, as they continue to shove into this inhibitor. The turret is down, so this might be the opportunity that they're looking for, but they're playing so close and tight together here, but they can't find a moment that they can sneak out a kill onto a Doofoof here.
currently just playing things safe and slow. Top Shelf don't want to run the risk of a bad fight once again. Though I think they can press the issue a little bit more. Their engage potential is lacking, remember. You know, they have Braum, they have Oriana, they have Viego diving in. There's not really a hard engage a go button for them as of right now. So it's mostly just playing around these towers, taking and using this Baron buff to the best of their ability and trying then to get a bit of damage down that can then maybe be like, all right, they're low enough. We can risk this. We can try and force a fight off of it.
Yeah. It's a lot of these tools that they have are good for follow-ups on initiation. But they're not good initiation tools themselves, right? They're a little unreliable. They need someone to already be in there diving in. Is this turret okay? That's going to be the Glacial Prison coming across here. They're looking for a Doofus. We can't quite find him just yet. Great Shockwave is going to come across here as Cadius is looking for a little bit more. That's going to be the cease and desist from Lolo, going to be able to get onto a Doofus here, but it doesn't do quite enough damage that they were hoping. The next to fall is Misfortune, and next is after that is Sejuani. Victor falls soon after, and Madame Lolo is the only member left, and it's Top Shelf that claims the 2-1 victory in this nail biter. So close of a best of 3. Holy moly, your winners for this evening, Top Shelf.
Yeah, Top Shelf being just a little bit out of reach for the side of Mythic Fabled.
Yeah.
As they did end up winning game 2 and 3. I mean, after game 1, I did not expect Top Shelf to even really put up a fight in game 2. So I'm pleasantly surprised to see how this kind of worked out. Obviously, I think these games still had some messy aspects, some missed engages, some kind of disrespect of what was capable of their opponents at the time. But overall, I mean, this looked really solid from Top Shelf when they did have their feet down and they were capable of being the ones pressing the issue rather than trying to scale up for a later game fight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is definitely really close game between these two teams here. Mythic Fabled was a really good team, and even though they lost here, there's still a lot to love about the way that they played this game. They weren't super greedy. They didn't make any sort of wild moves, and they didn't play super scared either. They were playing really well, and there were a lot of times where they caught out a Cadius, they caught out a Doofoof. They were able to get good kills on the Modest Dryad as well. It's just when the enemy team is so far ahead, even in a 4v5 situation, taking one person off the map doesn't completely get rid of the massive gold deficit. And a lot of the times they're still able to get through with this.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at champions that do have reset potential, because that does kind of create an opportunity to make up for that loss of a person. And Viego is a great example of that. You know, you might be down a person, but if Viego's constantly picking up new bodies, resetting his health a little bit, resetting his cooldown specifically, that creates so much more damage, so much more health you have to chew through, that it is essentially like there is an extra person in that fight.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to call it an evening. GG's to both teams, but in the end, there can only be one winner. And tonight, your victor is Top Shelf. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. You'll be notified every single time we go live for League of Legends action nearly every single day, every week for y'all to watch and more bangers like this one. And if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button as well. It helps us keep the lights on here at Style Esports. But from myself, the entire live broadcast crew, Thousand Eyes, my co-caster for this evening, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next match. Bye-bye.